And howdy, folks. Welcome to Mosaic Team 5, our original Starfinder campaign. I am Joe Treff, your game master this evening in Most, and joining me are my friends Matt, Dan, Kara, Olive, and Ari.
Jeff.
Ari knows Jeff. So we're going to play Starfinder tonight.
Fuck,
before we
do the
do
banners.
Oh, man.
And we were here the whole time.
Yeah, I will. I got it. Don't worry about it. We're early.
And then Matt, would you?
Yeah, I got it.
Sorry, Matty C. Would you mind just dropping that over there? We are going to be playing Starfinder tonight, but before we do, a couple of quick announcements. You know what? There's a really great group that is out in, I think, Massachusetts or New Jersey. I can't remember where exactly they are, but they stream D&D. Izzy is the DM, and they have a great thing at the front where it's like slightly blurred, but just like the image, so you can see everybody moving, but you can't hear everybody. I feel like that would be really good for us.
That would be cool for us. So you can see all the times we fuck up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Izzy Beth, great DM. But we're going to play Starfinder tonight. Before we do, a couple of quick announcements. We have a YouTube at Alberon RPG where you can see all of our old sessions from D&D, from Starfinder, from some original one-shots. Kara has run an adventure that was a 4-part adventure called Sea of Ice. Olive is going to be running an adventure that is going to be coming at some point in the future.
Beware.
All of that is on YouTube at Alberon RPG. We also re-air all of our sessions on Sunday, starting at 12 for this, and then 4:30 p.m. for our D&D campaign. Speaking of which, tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we'll be playing session, I think 50... No, I'm wrong.
50 million.
63.
Excuse me. Session 58 of Adventures in Alberon Courts of Everest, the second of 10 planned D&D campaigns connected that are all... It's a long story. And so to see what's going on with that as our group... Well, this is 10 years after the first campaign. But to see more of what's going on with that group, you can tune in at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on Twitch. And then that is the last announcement that I have for this week. And so we can start this week's session of Mosaic Team 5. All right, Mosaic Team 5. Let's cut back into our theme music here. All right. Mosaic Team 5. Last we played, on a rogue planet hurtling through space, you had located a downed research vessel bearing the name of your envoy, the Deer Spice. After discovering it was less than abandoned, with a pair of swarm drones occupying the crew quarters, you proceeded forward into the cargo bay where a pair of drones attacked. The beast tore at you with bony scythes, but Shade, Bubbles, and Echo provided enough firepower to drive the drones back while Gibbs secured biomatter samples the director had requested, and Echo, moving close to the speed of sound with their haste circuit, sped well ahead to cut off the escape with Bubbles.
Thanks, Gibbs.
It was then that it became clear the drones were not retreating. They were being called by a much larger bioform, a swarm psychodebrader. This creature towered over even Bubbles, and its exposed brain seems to allow it to nullify mind-affecting abilities, while its talons and scythes tore deep gouges in Bubbles and Shade together. But critical hits towards the end managed to defeat this powerful psionic creature, and you found yourselves alone in the Lashunta research vessel known as the Deer Spice. Echo, you attempted to free this vessel, and despite a pretty decent piloting check, found that this craft was wedged just a little too firmly into the cave, and with threat of it collapsing in on you, decided to stop. Spice, you decided to send a message to your mom, who sits on the board of the Siglasili Corporation, who own this vessel, and in a shock, she responded back.
Yeah.
She said, "Spice, I'm glad you're safe. You can't come home. Not ever. Get away. I love you. The director has told all of you that there are mere minutes until the swarm finishes closing in, which leaves Bubbles, Shade, and Gibbs, each of you just a moment to do something before you need to dash back to your ships and determine which, in fact, you will be taking with you back to the Directive Zero. But that is where we begin this evening. Give me just 1 second. Okay.
Does anyone have the drawing of the hole we're in?
What?
You know, like the... Yeah. Matt's got it.
Okay. So as Spice is currently in the cockpit, and I believe Echo is as well. Gibbs.
Echo was putting the initiators into the
Right.
cannon sensors.
You're in the engineering section, kind of interfacing with the ship.
Bubs is next to Spice.
Okay, so you're in the cockpit as well. Gibbs, what are you doing? You have just a moment. The director just said there is life forms closing in.
Yeah. So, Gibbs, not super interested in the Dear Spice. Very interested in the hole with which the swarm had emerged from.
Sure.
So in my 3 minutes, can I dart out of the Deer Spice towards the lit up half of the cave that we're in and poke my head down there and see anything of interest?
Yeah, you certainly can.
Cool. That's
So
what I
you down the hole. You have to put on your helmet. There's a brief depressurization cycle within that holding lab, and then you go out. No problem. There's power now, and so all of these functions way easier than they were coming in. You make your way down, and now with the ship on and powered, the ambient lights around it just provide a lot of light in the cave. And you see a couple of things. First of all, on the ceiling, there are places where here and there bits of starlight iron are now refracting light in a very bright way. And you can see now that it's caught some element of light, it is now kind of shining with some of its own. You can also see this lone halogen light is one of 3 that has been set up around this kind of area. And beyond that is a cave in which there is this milky white substance that is almost like jelly that seems to be dripping off the ceiling and kind of pooling on the floor. And there is signs in the kind of reddish, grayish stone of elements of some kind of growth that is almost like a slime mold.
Can I take a sample?
Make a life sciences check. But Gibbs, as you get close to it,
All right.
it does kind of pulse.
Uh-oh.
And the way that it moves makes you cognizant of the fact, even without the check, that this is something that will probably is a very large bioform.
Okay, I got a 19 on the dice plus 10 is 29.
Okay. And so thinking about some of the tools that you have available to you in your medical kit, you have something that is traditionally used for removing warts. It's this little freezing pen that just makes this little ice line. It's not enough to do damage, but it's enough to just, pull a little growth off. And you use that to freeze a little seam away and separate the tissue without causing damage directly to the organism. Because you recognize, Gibbs, this, similar to like a mushroom, probably is spread, and wherever this stuff is, if you touch some of it, you're touching all of it. And you remember these creatures poured out of that rock when you initially set down the vibrations, or you guys moving those stones, or perhaps even that body.
Right.
And so you want to be real careful in this cave.
Cool. Grab my little sample, put it in my little pocket or whatever, carefully, all careful. And then I will dart to the closest ship. And I have my own ignition thing, or you took it, or I don't know.
Don't we all have them?
Y'all gave Echo the
And
cords
Echo's like
and-
pre-slotting them
Cool.
in.
Then
So, so when you guys get there, you will be able to take off. There may be other issues.
What? No.
There is probably the same failsafe that was in the first one that will cause it to blow up if you don't disarm after you ignite it.
All right, I start
So-
on that part.
Well, you're gonna have to. I'm gonna want to be there for it.
You can't
To
do
help.
it.
You can't do it for all of us.
Yeah, in whatever.
3 minutes.
Just start with your own.
Mine's fine. I just have to get there.
All right, so we're just gonna. All right.
I'm
So
gonna
you
try to
grab
stick
what is
around to
going
help.
to be
for...
a swarm sample, and you can just label it swarm sample 2.
That's what I was gonna say. While you do that, yeah.
Okay. Bubbles, you are in this cockpit. You watch as Spice sends this message away and gets a response.
Yeah.
But what do you want to do?
I'm just gonna watch Spice. Spice, And he's like gonna notice her face like looks a little different because before she was like kind of being this like commanding captain presence, which turned Bubs on. But now he's like noticing like her face is a little bit like a bit solemn, or
she
Big
has
turn off.
Yeah.
Big turn off.
yeah.
she's
Okay.
tears
Just a
streaming
bit
down her
solemn.
face now.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
So-
screaming, crying.
Baby, look a bit solemn.
So Bubs is gonna turn to Spice and just be like, "Babe, what's going on? What's the matter?"
I didn't even know my mom cared about me.
And Bubs
She
is like
screams through
very
tears.
fluent in Spice crying babies. And will say, "Babe, your mom, what happened?
I guess Spice is just gonna point at the screen where the letter
Bubs will
is.
speed read it. "Babe, that's fantastic." He's gonna come over and like kind of put his arm around her shoulder. That's fantastic. I'm so happy. I mean, this is good news, right?
Yes!
I know I kind of pushed you, to try to talk to her, and I don't know. Maybe I'm projecting my own emotions in this situation, but I really feel like, this is something to be happy about.
You can see that it's happy tears. It's not like sad tears.
Maybe this is something, that will work to something better. Maybe you can, I don't know, maybe we could have, a nice family all together.
I think Spice, in the essence of time, doesn't have the mind power to be able to grasp the situation with her mom and also flee for her life. So she's going to grab Bubbles' hand and be like, we can talk about this later, but let's try to survive another day. And go
Yeah.
to the ships.
And Bubs will just take her hand and go off with her.
Okay, no problem.
So Spice is going to go towards the GPF shuttles, right? Because
Yep.
that's what we're trying to
Down
avoid.
slicers.
Yeah, the
Tendon
slicers.
slicers.
Tendon slicers.
We're not slicing Talon. We love Talon.
I know. I saw
Talon
his name
slicers.
pop up, and I was thinking about him.
Yeah. And did I send you? I gave you guys that stop block,
Yes.
right? Okay, just making sure.
I don't have it.
So it's in. I think it's in Discord.
Oh, dope.
Shade, is there anything that you're doing in this time?
I would like to implant Ghost into the Dear Spice's main computer,
Okay.
which I think now it's at least 5 mile range, so I'll have contact with it for 5 miles. I don't know. I'd have to check to see if it increased at level 10 because I didn't look that up. But
We're not level 10 yet.
right, so it's 5 miles.
Yeah.
So I'm going to implant Ghost and then try to dig around there with my exocortex to find ship logs, where it's been, what they were any more information beyond the stuff that I found on the auxiliary hard drive access.
And remind me, what is it that allows you to do this in not a cybernetic installed in a creature that you can see within 60 feet?
It's my remote hack with...
Because this specifically says it has to be a cybernetic installed in a creature. Remote hack has to do with computers, which a cybernetic could be considered, but this is...
Oh, I'm sorry. I think I meant, just bypass to wirelessly hack into it.
Okay.
Yeah.
With what intent?
Ship logs,
Yeah.
anything that might be
Make a computer's
relevant.
check. You've already bypassed the security once, and so for free you can do that. You begin on the 3 nodes that give you a number of different things. Give me 1 second here. Pull up last session.
It's not great. 29.
29. Okay. With the 29, there are a couple of things that you can kind of access from here. Firstly, you can access the navigation logs, and they're pretty simple. There was a jump from Castroval to a location pretty far from here, but I would say with that check, you can kind of, based on the telemetry that you've traveled, understand that they intercepted this on earlier in its path. It's not that they somehow ended up here.
So it's to this.
Correct. They landed here, and all of the things within the ship actually read it as landing. You have some of the data logs, and so sort of how the adventure, that kind of ham, and what you're finding matches up with all of that.
Okay.
So certainly that seems true. What else are you looking for?
So no ship logs from earlier, like it had just been from Castrovel to here.
Yes.
Okay.
This
nothing
ship
about
was manufactured last year. And so this may have been the first time that it actually left on a non-test voyage. It's very new.
Okay. Any who the manufacturer was, information about who the owner is, the transponder codes, all that kind of stuff. Can I download
The license and
that
registration.
It's is there any information that would help to identify more about the ship that could lead us to more of who is behind this research, who's putting in the funding for this research and stuff?
Sure. I mean, so you already know a fair amount. You know
Right.
that it's owned by the
company.
Sigla Corporation. Yeah. The ship itself is a craft that was built by a company called Elendry Shipyards. They are based off of Elendry, which is itself a moon around Castroval, and so that tracks. And I would say the other thing that you would probably put together about that, this is the same ship that created the very shuttle, or the same company that created the very shuttle that you guys have.
Okay.
That we're about to
Megan Marsh.
abandon. Just kidding. Just kidding.
And so,
Drama.
nice little
The
trait.
ship, the tendon slicers, or the
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 shuttle
purple
Team 5.
shuttle.
The tendon slicers were built by
It was
M.O.S.A.I.C Manufacturing.
Megan M.O.S.A.I's shuttle. Technically M.O.S.A.I's, I think.
Yeah.
Or Meeks.
It's Meeks.
Yeah, technically Meeks.
And so, I mean, you get all that. Yeah, I mean, if there's specific information that you're trying to glean, it's all there. There's nothing super hidden. Though this was definitely something that was directed by the military, there's no military information aboard this ship.
But it seems as if this ship was designed specifically for this task.
Make a sense motive check.
Ooh.
Take a +6 conditional modifier for your good computers check.
Ooh, okay. Hey, for an android, a dirty 20 is not bad.
Racist.
Damn, with the plus. Yeah, racist.
And your question, I'm sorry, was you're trying to figure out.
Was this ship
right.
commissioned specifically for this, this research expedition?
The ship was not built for this
Or
expedition.
for,
This is a research ship. For it to be here with GPF escorts and stuff would suggest that it was probably requisitioned by the GPF or by somebody very, very high up within Sigla Corporation, high enough so that they could pull in GPF support.
Mom, I'm so proud of you.
Okay. Cool.
So with that information, all of you
Yeah, I would
make your way off this ship, kind of leaving it behind you, now lit and fully powered, but maybe a little bit more full of ghosts than you started with. And you make your way to the bluffs and then up and to these Tendon Slicer craft. And the director, keeping you appraised of all of this, on your heads-up displays has shown you these little signals, and at first you could just see little blips kind of closing in, but it is just a wave of red that just has a ragged edge because there are so many bioforms closing in. You see a couple that are larger on the horizon. They'll take some time to get here, but you recognize swarm annihilators that are approaching, and you do not want to be there when those get within range.
Guys, this is the race level.
This is the race. No, so for one of the very first times, in theory, if you get up there, well, anyways. So without any trouble, you make your way up to this bluff that you have parked on. Shade, your Tendon Slicer craft is ready to go. You can take that off. You've already disabled the countermeasures.
Oh, we got all the way over there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
can
So
make
what
it-
about the other tendon slicers?
So I'm getting
we
there.
there?
I'm getting there.
Yeah, so we were actually going to have...
Oh,
Echo
sorry.
go get
Right.
that one.
Yours is not parked with them. You parked up with the shuttle. I
Yeah,
forgot.
and I
My
was
fault.
going to stick around to help with if there were any other
My fault.
disengaging things, and then...
So you all leave the Deer Spice, and you make your way just 45 feet in front of it to where the Tendon Slicer craft are parked. 4 of them. Echo, you've inserted all the ignition cores. And so they are ready to power up.
The ships are ready to be engaged.
Be
I
prepared
suspect
for...
Spice pops into one.
Is
I'll
this
also
gonna?
get one.
Can I check for if it's gonna blow me up?
Make an engineering check.
Can I do it by talking to God?
Make an engineering check with a +0 condition.
There is a
By
god.
talking to
Isn't
God.
it like milk or whatever the god?
I don't fucking know.
Now, actually, Gibbs, is there a god in particular that you want to invoke when you ask this?
The one of the drift jump.
Um.
The technology
Okay.
one, the new
You know
one.
how they say follow your gut?
Mm-hmm.
It's whatever the essence of that
God.
is, where Gibbs like believes in that.
Okay, yeah, make an engineering check with a +0 conditional modifier.
I don't know
Real quick.
shit about gods.
That's one thing. I'm gonna print out a list of all the gods.
You know what? You can add your mega mysticism modifier if you want.
Fuck yeah.
Just kidding, it doesn't exist.
Oh. I thought you were just implying that mine's great because it is.
No, it is great. but yeah.
All right. You don't worry, guys. Don't worry. I'm gonna engineer my way out of this with a little 11.
Oh, that's an
Gibbs,
F.
this, you see no bomb. Like, you're looking around for the ticking clock or the red or blue wire, but you see neither of those things.
All right.
So,
My guts never failed me.
yeah.
Be careful when
Vroom,
you
vroom,
start.
vroom, vroom, vroom.
Gibbs ignites this craft
I am
and
going
correctly
to get the shuttle.
assumes that they are not trapped, as they were not left behind. It was not crashed. It was not set up to be calling attention to.
Follow my gut.
They very much assume that they would be coming back to these ships.
Nice.
And so there is no traps or countermeasures currently engaged.
Spice will
great.
follow suit.
Okay? That power.
Or whatever as shit makes as it loads up.
Yeah, I also
Through
follow.
the area that got...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the Amazon
minefield
truck
area
backups
that
now.
got cleared away, right?
Echo's just running through the clear pathway to go up to the bluff to
Okay.
shuttle to tow Shade's ship away.
So you're going to tow Shade's ship.
Yes.
Okay.
I would probably, once everyone else is in, get in the last one and then see if I can somehow try to help, as a counterballast once we leave the atmosphere.
I love
Do you
that.
not trust
You-
me?
No, it's just, if you stop, then that's
That was
going to
a
keep
yes.
going. And
So you're
that's
not talking
gonna-
about atmosphere, you're talking about gravity well.
gravity well, yeah.
And so, sure. Echo, make a piloting check.
Because, I can always, get out and shoot the thing to try to,
Okay.
Got a natural 20.
Natural 20.
Hey!
Do
So
you not
shit.
trust
It's
me?
just lost in the dust.
You watch as Echo, very effortlessly picks up and tilts the director in such a way that none of the tethers jolt unevenly. The craft gets up without even a single bit of dust taking off. And this is an effortless landing, and you imagine that getting involved will only really harm things at this point.
Cool.
Meanwhile, you see Gibbs going, Prindle.
You see, everybody starts going forward. Gibbs starts going backwards. And it's like, nope. But no problem. Bubs, are you starting up your ship?
Yep.
Alrighty. So, everybody who is flying a Tendon Slicer craft out of this cave, make a piloting check. And this is just, it's a pretty narrow cave. It's a really low DC, but not all of you are great pilots.
Nice. 15.
Was that?
15.
Okay.
Yeah. I changed my mind.
Uh-oh.
10.
11.
Ooh.
Oh my god.
So,
What's a low DC,
Shade.
Joe?
what was yours again?
Yeah, I hope it
20.
was 10.
You
8.
start this up and turning as you watch Gibbs and Spice and Bubbles all get in the ships and they turn off and they don't explode. Fine, you take off, you go out, and you take off.
I said I was waiting for everyone to take off before I left.
No problem. So, including Shade, all of you take
Oh. Well, I get what I paid for.
33 points
Wait, to our ship?
to
Or
your
ship?
shields, primarily.
Okay, so.
And so as you all kind of jostle through, you decide that you're going to supervise. The other three decide that they will all leave at the same time. And without any real communicating about who is going to go what. And for what it's worth, you guys are recognizing for lockout, this is kind of a preview for your teamwork right now. You all jam into the cave entrance. Spice, you are popped up and kind of wedge against the roof. Bubbles and Gibbs are both kind of shoved out to the side. And then you, Shade, who are flying behind, you just rear end Spice just a little bit. all of you kind of crunch into this single space and almost form a cork before you are able to crumble parts of this cave away and make your way out and into this ship.
Bubs is gonna do hand signals like, "Oh, you go."
And it's, I mean,
You
it
hand
does
signal at
good
no
amounts
one.
of damage to your shield.
Yeah.
But you are all in space. And Echo, you watch as the rest of your crew just bombs flying for the first time as a group. They just crash into the mountain. There's debris kind of coming up, but you watch as all of the ships come up.
Hey, Spice over to the like ship comms like, hey, good thing we've got an engineering bay.
Shade lights a cigarette.
Yeah, for sure.
You know that guy was right. There's not enough cup holders.
I agree. I don't even see one.
It's a real problem with with a lot of Drowcraft, yeah. So
They're
Famously don't
camelbacks
drink
kind
while
of
they
people.
fly.
Boo.
Right.
So lame.
I have a camelback. It's just not edible.
what? So you all make your way back, and with no trouble, you can arrive back at the Directive Zero. You have now 5 smaller craft and the shuttle and this larger ship. And so how are you kind of negotiating all of this?
Well, can't we tether them to...
Yeah,
Yeah,
isn't there
you
like a
can.
tether in the back?
You can.
Well, didn't the director say that they could, like...
They can. You can have one within the actual, like, craft itself.
Yeah,
And the rest will have to be tethered. So what are you actually having within the ship?
Echo, like, I assume gets there first.
Yes.
And would have, like, had the director slave the tendon slicer below
No problem.
before releasing the tethers and piloting the shuttle inside, because that's where the shuttle has lived.
So there is this like pop-up that comes up on the ship itself, and at first it's fought by the countermeasures, but very quickly the director is able to establish a connection, and there is this like, do you agree to have your systems like managed? And you hit yes, and there's this buckle, and you're able to get back to the ship no problem. But for the director, it's not underneath the ship, it kind of falls back and into a formation. It's less of a physical tether and more of a
Yeah, it's
electric
just
one.
like being remotely piloted.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't we think that we should bring each of the absolutely fucked up tendon slicers onto the ship to get fixed?
There
Don't
are
the
not
shields-
enough spaces.
Well, that's
We
what
will
I'm
take
saying.
them-
Take the shuttle off, bring one of the tender slices off, and we can
We are
swap them out
going
as we get there.
to the Mosaic hangar. I'll be able to repair them there.
I also don't think
Okay.
we can swap them out in the drift. We'd have to like get out of the drift and then like roll it.
We need to
Pilot
get
it
out
again.
of here as quickly as we can. It's likely that GPF forces will arrive. They have been doing patrols up until recently. It's suspicious that we haven't seen them at all.
You see the little blue light that indicates the director's presence, and I'm assuming you are all back aboard the Directive Zero at this point.
Are we
Are
all on
you-
our tendon slicers?
You're all just flying.
No, I
from
parked.
point to
Oh.
I
point.
parked
Yeah, I
mine.
wanted
I
to
would.
put like Faye as an anti-grav with all our chips
in the
and shit
tendon
all around.
slicer as
I can go back on the Directive Zero.
Okay.
Yeah,
As
was
everyone
The
else
three
is
of you on the
parking.
Directive Zero, Spice and Shade are just hanging out in their new ships.
Yeah.
No problem. So there's a communication that comes up to the three of you who are on the
Well, I was waiting for
director,
everyone to park. And I was going,
and the director would say, "We have received a drift beacon from the Mosaic Vivarium.
That's you. Send it through, right?
Doing so now." And this little message goes off, and you now have the coordinates for the Mosaic Vivarium, this new established office for your company.
We should probably head there forthwith.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Yeah. Okay.
we need to get onto the director to drift, right? Because these aren't drift capable.
Well, they're
The
tethered to the...
tendon slicers.
They all come
I mean,
together.
you could be in them. It would be a very uncomfortable journey.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
It would be like somebody
Like
putting you in
hanging
like a
out
little
in the
trailer
back,
on the
yeah.
Autobahn. Yeah.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be fun.
You're like in the horse's trailer with them.
It would be
like-
on like the Zodiac raft attached to like a cigarette boat.
that sounds awesome.
It would not be fun. Anyways,
So yeah, getting back on the ship once everyone else is slaved to it securely.
sure. Spice, what about you?
Yeah, I'll go back on the Directive Zero.
So all of you make your way aboard the Directive Zero, and Shade, you can see now you have this drift beacon. So at any point that you want, you can drop into the drift and in one day arrive at this place.
Cool.
Go vacates the
Where-
pilot seat.
Where are the coordinates in respect to the world? Like, those are coordinates on the map, right? So, like,
It's a point within the drift, and so
Oh,
when
okay.
you engage your drift drive, it can lock on and chart the closest path, and it will always be roughly a day to get there. It isn't like a physical place in the way that you're thinking about it, because even though space is kind of, it is three-dimensional, and so people think about it like a submarine going through water.
Yes.
There is an extra dimension to it that is the way that time dilates through rapid transitions in space, and so when you're thinking about it as like it's not really like a liquid movement
Right.
that you're talking about.
so it's not like, oh, I look at that IP address and I'm like, oh yeah,
Correct.
that's right near the Petrus's
Correct.
like VLAN.
Yeah, there's no physical tether to it.
Cool. Bunch of numbers, man. Let's go.
Yeah, so I'd put in the coordinates.
Okay. No problem. You input the coordinates given to you with this new drift drive, and with no trouble whatsoever, you pull the lever that initiates this jump. Space drops away before you, and you can just see the stellar clouds that line this place and make up the corridors of the drift. 23 hours, 59
Guys, we did it! Oh my god! Ooh, I am so ready to play log out.
As soon as we're in the drift, I want to get those specimens into the cryo chambers.
Okay, no problem. So which specimens are you putting in the cryo chamber?
The ones that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Which ones?
Gibbs
The
has
ones-
them.
Yeah, no.
Gibbs has all the bio.
Echo has like
The slop.
the slop.
in the
Oh yeah,
infinite
in
bag.
your hole.
We need to secure this.
Yeah, hold on. Director.
Yes, Gibbs.
Okay. How excited are you if I tell you that we got your thing?
What?
It means that you have completed your assignment.
Yeah, but like on a scale from 1 to 10, how excited are you? Like, are you pumped or like
Gibbs, you
don't-
saw what happened. Give me the specimen.
No, I'm giving it to the director. But I want to see how excited they are.
Gibbs, I do not feel excitement in the way that you mean it,
What?
but I am pleased that you were able to accomplish your mission. If that will help facilitate the transfer of this material.
Yeah. Do I just shove it in this hole right here?
There's a little slot, and before you had seen a little arm emerge, but now it is just a kind of empty space, and you can it looks almost like it's like a laundry chute that you could pour something into.
Is that done greedily? Can I sense motive?
Yeah, make
director?
a sense motive check,
I want to vibe check this guy.
Yeah,
What?
you can.
He's our friend. He's on our side.
Natural 20. And my sense motive is,
I mean, you got a natural 20.
I know, but like, don't you want to know? It's a huge ass number. 35.
35. Okay. So this little door opens up and you squint looking at the director, which is the ship around you itself. And in trying to sense its motive, you remember a fact. And facts are really good at informing the situation.
Yeah.
You remember that the director specifically wanted things to create upgrades for you for the ship. That was a big part of what they had said.
Yeah.
Echo had said, hey, it would be really great if we had some upgrades. And then the director said, hey, it'd be really great if you did what I asked. And you feel like the director has been doing these things to do what you have asked it to do. And so it's as pleased as it can be. It has no malice. I will say, though, with the natural 20, there is more than just that here. This is a lot of this sample. And you mentioned the word greed. It's not greed, but there is more utility than just whatever this upgrade is going to be, perhaps. It's not malicious, but it's definitely calculated.
Director, you don't feel any kind of emotion?
That's a really complex question.
Oh,
The little blue light kind of blinks a couple times and then says, I'm not familiar with emotion in the way that you mean it.
Well,
But when you return, that is good.
what
Good
about
enough for me.
when you're flying through atmosphere and you can feel like, the wind between your fins or whatever? You don't feel that?
I do not possess fins. I possess 17 differential stabilizers.
Oh,
Do you feel satisfaction?
I have not completed my directive.
Would you feel satisfaction if you did?
There is only one directive, and that is all that I must complete. If satisfaction is derived from completing a task, then yes.
Does this jar get you closer to your directive?
Yes.
All right. No avarice, so I will pour it in the slot.
Gibbs Scabrat. You seem apprehensive.
Yeah.
Why?
I worry about the power you wield over me and my future. And I'm worried about your goals aligning with mine, the same way that I worry about my goals not aligning with everyone else's.
Make a persuasion check.
So I can get my satisfaction.
I'm killing it.
Does that
Persuasion, how about diplomacy?
Yeah, sorry.
17 plus 11 is 28.
Okay. It is logical to be afraid. I could vent the atmosphere, and all of you would die. However, that is not within my interests. It is within my interests that all of you succeed.
What if... You know, I'm fickle sometimes, and I feel like my emotions change, and so my goals do too.
That
Yours
is why
don't.
I do not have emotions.
Right. But what
Because
if...
there is only one directive, and I must complete it.
I hope we can help. And I hope we can help you find satisfaction, and I hope your directive is for the good of all. I hope it's worthy of all your time and attention and all your calculations, because you probably could do a lot of cool stuff if you put your mind to it, I guess.
Gibbs, have you ever wondered why you are?
Yeah.
I have not.
What will you do when it's done? What will you be if you aren't driven by that?
There's another kind of pause, and you can see those lights blinking, and then satisfied.
Is this more than you need? This sample?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Why? How are you calculating that?
There are other applications to this material. It is highly mutable and can be used to adjust to different environments. Aside from the armor applications that can be implemented with this, with the excess material, there are other things that could be done.
Like?
Still to be determined.
Will you tell us when you decide?
If you would like me to.
I would. That'd be great, actually.
Very well.
Great. All right, I feel good about this now.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm really tired. Can we like have like a just a quick like lunch or something, or lunch? What time is it, Director?
The current time, as you see just an hour has passed, is 12:10 p.m. It is 4/16/2250, a Tuesday.
How about grilled cheese? Are you in the mood for grilled cheese?
Well, I mean, I'll eat anything if you have just like plain toasted bread. I like that. That's my favorite.
Okay, that's also nice.
Can I just say though, plain toasted bread, there are times...
It's my favorite food.
Oh my god, where like with just a little bit of butter, it hits the spot in a way that's like it makes me see like the sky part.
My corporate fun fact
like
is always
just
my
the
favorite
base
food is
human
toast.
It's a really quality food. Anyway,
Easy,
sorry.
Yeah.
Humans have subsisted on bread for
Yeah,
ages.
just plain toasted bread for me.
Okay, sounds good. I will complete the transaction with the director, giving him the full 5 gallons or whatever.
Yeah, you have to like, and for you especially, you have to kind of like hoist it up and get it on your shoulder and really just dump it down.
And I start to like topple over because I got 2 liquids on my back.
It's a lot.
Wait, so is that the one that... That's the one that was actually...
That is the high quality actual sample, yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
the high
I didn't
octane
know
fuel.
about that one until I just saw it.
Correct.
Okay.
You just saw Gibbs whip out a like laboratory grade sample. This is in a similar package to what you would get from the National Institute of Weights and Measurements.
Yeah, like it's an actual, like it's in a
Yeah.
nice
Yes.
container and everything.
And I'm like, I found my jar.
Where did you find that?
Oh yeah. Well, okay. So
How
after
long have you had that?
okay. After I saw your sample and I thought it smelled a little funny, I might have just done a little digging around and found this other sample just in
Let's get rid of
case
this.
yours wasn't But I'm sure yours is still good. Director, you gotta look at Echoes. Echoes is really good too.
I do not have one.
Dispose of it.
No, it's really good. Hold on.
It's not good.
Wait, I'll eat it.
No.
There is a little, and you see the slot open up. The blue light is on, and you feel the director waiting.
I believe it may be contaminated.
The slot shuts.
It was doused in a dye substance.
But it's also green now.
At the very least, it is brightly colored.
So
There's
anyways,
no response.
yeah,
to
I
any of
found it. I found it. It was fine. I also found some other stuff that I want to give to Vesson. Is Vesson in the Vivarium, Director?
that. Vesson is not in the Vivarium. Currently, the only two residents are Peep and Efi.
Why?
You will need to ask Peep.
Didn't you like recruit them to live in the Vivarium? Why did you pick Peep and Efi? What qualifies them for residency in the Vivarium over Vesson?
There's a bit of time, and this is one of those things that you imagine normally you would have gotten the response. You are not cleared to get that information yet, but that is not the response that comes.
Oh!
Peep has proven useful and is important to all of you. Peep is also the direct facilitation with Mosaic, LLC, and is an important link and interface. Efi has a number of chemical skills, on top of being able to manage logistics, that will be important to running the Vivarium at full capacity. Are there others that you would have brought?
Mari, Meeg, and Spicer's just gonna list off all of her friends.
Okay. You put this list in. Mari and Meeg.
What's Jacinto guy's name? Willcost? What's his name?
Lydell.
Lydell Willcost. It was just like everybody.
I think
She's
Shade's
Rose
not here anymore.
Lashwind.
Shade probably would have walked away a while ago.
Who else are we allies with? Bastion.
We're not allies with them sometimes. They're like,
Maybe not with you.
Dr. Maldra.
Yeah, Dr. Maldra.
Are you putting him on the list?
Sure.
no!
So it's just listing off 1,000 people.
That-
Diego. Love,
I
hate
object to
him.
multiple of these.
Yeah, can we have a vote, please?
I am compiling a list, but if there are those that you would prefer me not to send, you can edit it prior to me sending.
Great. Delete them all.
Gibbs, I could not hear you. Would you like me to delete all of these requests?
What?
Yes.
Please
No.
confirm.
Very well. And all of a sudden the page goes blank.
Nice.
So functionally, what the director will say is, to be clear, we will direct resources and attempt to bring these individuals to the Vivarium. If this is not somebody who is friendly, it will cost resources.
I don't go about deciding who is good and evil. I'm just using what the gods gave me. Never mind.
It is not about good and evil. It is about showing up on someone's door and the difference between kidnapping and inviting.
One's more
They're all
expensive.
invited.
But like, also, do we want to tell like all those people where all of our like friends and allies live? Like, would we really want to give them like the coordinates to our house and the key and the invitation to come? And like, what if they come and kill Peep or like
If
come and?
Lydell Willcost is there, I will not be.
Well, I'm thinking everybody's gonna need a place to hide when the swarm comes to get us. And it sounds like the Vivarium is gonna be the place. And we've got a lot of beef with a lot of these people, and we can work it out in the Vivarium.
What do you mean when the swarm comes to get us?
I think that the swarm is what the GPF and the USR and the VESC are afraid of.
Well, I mean, yeah, they were real creepy crawlers. I'm kind of freaked out by them too, but I mean,
I think it's an entity bigger than all of them.
But do you think the Lashunta would really advertise that their biggest weakness lives on this planet and whatever? Like,
What do you mean? I'm confused, but what
so the
what does
swarm
this
was
have to do
only
with the Lashunta?
harmful for like you and me because we both use mind affecting effects, right? Like, I need to reach into someone's brain, and if it doesn't
Right.
work as well, it doesn't it's not so good, right?
I think this form is more powerful than just mind affecting shit.
No,
think
I
we
know,
just,
but it's only more harmful than average to people of our kin. You know, like Bubbles had no problem, and he just, hits shit.
That's why we should invite Dr. Maldross to the Vivarium. Am I right or am I right?
Do we really want to tell Dr. Maldross where Bubs might be in his downtime?
Is it Maldross? I don't know. Maybe not. Let me think about it for a little bit.
There's a lot of ways I saw this going. Aligning with Dr. Maldross was none of those things.
0%.
It's a really interesting
I don't
thought.
see, like, he's fucking your dad, so...
It's not.
He's not. Steele's his dad. But I
Okay,
don't
It's a very
think
complex
whatever.
situation.
Yeah,
of
it's one
who
of your
is Bubs'
dads.
dad.
It's one of your dads.
Well, there's dad, and then there's creator.
And then there's Daddy.
And then there's the special episode of
Yes.
Mari where we find out who Bubs is dead.
All right.
And you don't need to be biologically related
We'll
to
do a
somebody to be
Dr.
their
Murray
daddy.
episode.
Amen.
Yeah, so just
Oh,
In fact,
sorry.
it's better.
It depends on the state.
Push me.
yeah, guys. So why don't we celebrate and get some food or something?
Toast and bread, toast in bed.
I would very much like to take this off.
And Echo gestures at the relaxer that they've had on this entire time.
It's a good look for
It
you.
looks like it's connected to you. Let me... Spice, like, peel it off. It's
Ow.
sweaty.
I did survive a full round of combat with this on and running to the shuttle and piloting it.
The
As
hay
the
circuit
director.
too, like definitely, yeah, that's a lot.
Director, sanitize.
That is not a function I am equipped with.
Oh, I can.
Oh, Bubbles, sanitize.
Yes, Spice.
Jacques, Ocean.
Bubs will take out a squeaky clean wipe and offer it to Echo.
How many do you have left?
I think I had like 50, and I think I used 2 so far. or
No, you
fifty.
used well
you
more than
used
that.
Just
like
tell me. Just tell
15.
me. I haven't been keeping track.
You have 37 of those left.
Okay,
You're running
that's
real low.
Okay.
Real low, real low.
How many do I have
gotta
left?
last 2 years, bro.
So,
think I'm
is there any? So, what would you all like to do as these hours pass by? You have one day before you reach the Vivarium.
Hey, Echo.
Yes.
Okay, so fun fact. I played video games before, but like legit driving, I've probably done like 10 times. And one of those times I ran over a statue.
The other time you ran into a cave wall.
Okay, yeah, true. So could we do like maybe like a
There's like a
quick
brief montage in
driver-
Echo's mind of all the Starship combat that you've been in, because even though Gibbs hasn't been piloting, your main memory of Gibbs flying is that unplugged controller and Gibbs just as fast as humanly possible.
And
It's-
that long period of time Echo spent scrubbing a bunch of gunk out of the various panels. That
Yeah.
the
I remember
director
that,
had.
yeah.
Piloting and Gibbs don't go together great in your mind, for what it's worth.
maybe just like a little lesson, it's GPF. It's like driving European style. It's real hard. Could I get a lesson?
I am unfamiliar with European style driving,
I don't
but
know.
perhaps I could impart some valuable lessons in fast turns,
Great.
as we will probably need to make multiple hairpin turns.
Dope.
Can we do shuttle tag?
We only have the like tiny space in this thing.
Well, once we get to the Vivarium, we can practice. We can practice fucking lockout.
And I was under the impression that you meant at the Vivarium. It is very difficult to practice real flight from inside of the director.
Okay, well maybe if you just like told me what all the buttons did, like that might help too. Is this my windshield wiper or is this the oil change button? I don't know.
Gibbs, are you unfamiliar with the controls of the cockpit?
I usually just like hit whatever button is blinking and it's been fine so far.
It's getting like progressively worse and worse. This is like somebody who's like sitting behind probably about a 12-ton death machine that has weapons and a reactor in it. And Gibbs is like, I just touch what lights up.
Right.
Somehow Gibbs has been able to successfully pilot vehicles this way, though. So Echo's kind of impressed.
But you also realize like, it's like the feet don't hit the pedals and I've been using like soup cans to like, it's been, it's a matter of luck. All I'm saying is like, maybe a little lesson would be helpful. Knowing what we're getting into. That I'm gonna have to drive this all by myself.
I do not understand how you would use soup cans, as there are no pedals in a flight cockpit. But certainly, we can find workarounds, and we can commission Shade with some projects to create better, more compact cockpits for you.
Thank you. Cool. And then I want to spend my downtime justifying all the ranks I put in piloting
Okay.
for the next level up.
Yeah.
Learning how to drive.
And you learn that the reason that Gibbs was using soup cans is because Gibbs would take the accelerator, jam it down, and then just wedge a soup cannon to keep it like that, so that they could just do like big sharp turns and concentrate on other parts of the flying.
That's not how that works.
It's not good for the thrusters. It's definitely not good for them. But no problem. You justify this by beginning to kind of go over the theory of the cockpit. Cool. And it's a big lesson for you. That is what Echo and Gibbs are doing. Spice, Bubbles, and Shade, what are you doing?
Bubs is gonna try to catch up with Spice, and where is Spice at the moment?
Fucking sleeping.
Okay, yeah, so I'd go in the armory.
Are you gonna wake me up and ruin my rest? That was a yes. All right. What?
I think Bubs will just he'll
Gotta wait until you're 7 hours in.
Yeah.
Are you fully asleep or?
Yeah, dude, I'm trying to rest. I just got my ass kicked.
Oh, babe, I'm sorry. Did I wake you?
You see the snot bubble pop, and it gets all over the sheets, and she like cracks her crusty eyes open, and she goes, "What? I wasn't sleeping. What do you mean?"
Oh, okay.
I was just laying down for 5 hours.
I'm dying. Sorry.
Sorry, I didn't know.
I don't need those resolve points.
I just wanted to see how you were. You're really upset back there.
What are you talking about? Are you talking about my mom or the life or death situation? No, she doesn't say that. I was happy. What do you mean?
Well, I don't know. It's sometimes it's hard for me to tell all these emotions. I mean, I've never been really great at reading people, but
Imagine if Jade reached out to you and said, I have changed my way in life. I'm a much better lady now. I found myself. I love you and all of the children. Don't come home, though. That's what it felt like.
I don't want to rain on your parade. I read the same message as you, but every time we used to try to talk about her, you would always curse her. You would say she left you and all these things, and it just I'm not saying
Well,
this is
she did.
I'm trying to say it isn't a bad thing that you're reaching out to her and trying to make this work, but I don't know. I just want you to set your expectations. I want you to realize that, you know, the Spice I talked to yesterday or a couple weeks ago about how you felt about your mom, I feel like you need to talk to her and let her know how you feel. You're not the same 10-year-old Spice who's scared of talking to her. You know, you need to let her know how you feel. How you feel about being abandoned.
Yes. But I think from that message I gleaned that maybe she knows and forgives me for being so angry at her, and that feeling of rejection that I felt from her from so many years. I wasn't expecting the part where she said, I love you, because I honestly thought she forgot about me. And I've been spending all of my 20s and 30s being like, oh, my mom is doing her own thing, so I have to do my own. The fact that she said, I love you, makes me think that things are different. And of course, I'll forgive her in a second, in the way that I forgive Meeg in a second. I don't think the love is gone.
I mean, babe, that's fantastic to hear, and I want to see more of it, you know, but sometimes you say something, but you don't really mean that. I don't know.
What? Like what?
You sometimes you put on a show sometimes. You hide how you really feel. I don't know.
I think I may be too genuine. I think I feel all the things. Because, yes, I was really mad at my mom. I felt so upset, but I'm also elated that she said that. I can feel both those things at one time. And they're both genuine feelings.
Bubs is gonna get up. I'm not saying they're not genuine. I just think that if she was in the room right now, or if we ever come and meet her at some point, are you going to be able to hold those two things?
I was able to say it to you, so why wouldn't I be able to say it to her in the same way?
I guess we'll see. And Bubs will just leave.
Alright, Spice is gonna face down in the pillow, go back to sleep.
You restart your long rest.
Fuck!
Shade, at what point are you resting, if at all?
So first I'm gonna spend some time making sure Squeak's getting the treatment that he deserves.
Yeah.
'Cause he's a little prince.
He is. I mean, he's a little fluffy dog,
Yeah.
and he's not getting a lot stronger because he's just hanging out in the cockpit, but he is slowly kind of, gaining some confidence around here. He's, running around the hallways and get a little stronger.
I'm doing my training
Yeah,
now.
no, for sure.
And then
He's level 4.
Cool. Okay.
We gotta put the lawnmower on aggressive mode. The vacuum cleaner on
Yeah,
aggressive
exactly.
mode. Program it to really antagonize Squeak.
Skills training.
And then have the other ship drone also, so they can have 3-way combat.
So how long, or at what point are you resting?
I guess, what time is it right now? Because it was noon, or just past noon right before, right?
Probably about 3 hours have passed, but so it really, at any point you can choose when you want to
Probably
rest.
8 or 9 at, I would be in the cockpit and I just stay in the cockpit, just power down,
Okay.
sleep mode, fucking shit.
And so
once we're settled in the drift.
are you having anybody else kind of man the controls?
Well, the director goes on autopilot.
You
right?
have a pilot
Yeah.
fucking right next to you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I mean, Shade is just sitting in the cockpit as always, so no one ever offered.
Okay, no problem.
They shouldn't have to!
Director, I mean,
It's
they
fine,
shouldn't
don't
have
worry.
to. But the director.
The hours countdown.
Sometimes you
Director does
offer.
it.
I'll
people
probably
forget.
sleep on the couch in the
Ryan checks on Shade.
common area because I want to give Spice some space. I know she's really tired.
Yeah. It's and Spice snores loud too.
Yeah.
And she's tired.
Sometimes she's very greedy with the blankets.
Sure.
Echo's put safety videos on for Gibbs. It's just basically sat her
Gosha.
down in front of the TV is driver safety.
We got the YouTube
You see,
videos up
it's
of
you see somebody who's lifting the cockpit, but then they bend too far down, and there's the big X before it cuts them in half. It's all those safety videos for sure. Is anybody else being in the cockpit at any point?
Can I have at least a short rest?
I mean, if that's what you want to take instead of a long rest,
Stuff.
you still have time to take a long rest. I mean, you have 24 hours.
I could say I
Okay.
slept in the. Oh,
I was
go
gonna say
ahead.
Echo would probably once has enough videos queued up and sees Gibbs is fully knocked out, would probably
Make a perception check.
I had wanted to do something before.
Okay.
Just looking up for preparing for the next mission.
Okay.
Researching.
We'll get to that in 1 second. Yeah, that'll be what you did before you went to
just
sleep.
went down.
Do you want to
Okay,
use
so
my
while Echo
perception
looks that up,
test?
what are you looking up?
So I want to see what I can, because Shade would not have just given the specimen so readily over, because Shade saw the power that this swarm thing had, especially against Lashunta.
Sure.
And so to give it away so willingly without knowing what it's going to be used for doesn't sit very well, but Shade
don't
wasn't
trust the
there when it
director?
happened.
Gibbs asked enough questions.
Shade trusts the director to an extent, but there
So what are you looking up?
So I mean,
I don't trust Shade.
yeah. I guess I'll just look up stuff on Zin.
Okay. Make a cultures check. And
cultures.
yeah,
15.
Shade, unbidden to you, that becomes a 21. And you, it's not even that as you're looking things up that you are finding a lot of information. There's stuff up there about all different kinds of things. There's information about how most of the service providers for the infosphere pulled out. So there's one company that has a monopoly, and then they got like shot out. And so evidently their CEO has been captive for several years, and that's what they're using as leverage to have infosphere connection on parts of Zin. There's all kinds of crazy stories coming out of this place. But those aren't really what are sinking into your mind. There are almost memories that come back. And you can remember that there are lots of parts to the Zin crawler. You remember there is an area called the Spine, and this is a place where you feel like you have familiarity with. And your fingers aren't even going anymore, but you're thinking about the makeup of this place and about this long stretch of towering metal catwalks and halls and how it's open from the bottom straight up to the top in a way similar to the Eclipse Mall, where perhaps two medium ships could park side by side, but it's not much wider than that. And there are tons of people that kind of make their way through here. And in this memory, you see lots of Vesk. You see many different species, much more diverse than some of the inner worlds that you're familiar with. I would say you are aware of the fact that the Vesk, not Dragonborn, the Vesk.
That's the mini.
They're different. The Vesk, they have a pretty sizable population here. You're not sure why you remember this, but you remember that there's a good number of them that make up kind of a community here. I would say, aside from that, that's probably most of what you would kind of remember with that. And at the end of that kind of experience, you realize that all this information doesn't come from the infosphere because you kind of stopped and you're just on that home page, not having really gone anywhere at all.
I'm going to file up away in my defragmentation processes.
Okay.
And play with Squeak for a little.
Okay, you do so. Free action. Squeak is a ally. All of you can mark off a long rest.
Perception check.
Go ahead and what's your perception check?
33.
33.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say fucking 8.
Yeah.
33.
On the 17th hour of this journey, there is no alert from the director, and Shade is powered down at this point, so it would have been completely missed had you not been looking, and had you not been looking very well, because giving off almost no signature, there is a ship in the drift within the channel that you're passing, and it seems to be just trying to pass you by. Make a cultures check. It's an unusual ship. You've never seen something like this.
I am not the one who makes
You
the
wanna
good ship.
Yeah, do you want to wake Spice up for that real quick?
16.
16. With the 16, no idea, but it is almost like a Nautilus. And at the distance that you can see, it's relatively large, probably a large-sized ship. And there are a number of overlapping, almost armadillo-like scales that have a luminescent blue quality to them that seem to be shifting and moving, almost like a shrimp's tail propelling it forward. And it just kind of passes. You have no idea what species might control such a craft. It doesn't seem to be offensive, but it just
players
makes its way away.
from Baldur's Gate. It's a joke.
It's
It's a joke. It's
it's-
entirely a joke.
I don't play that game.
It is the Starfinder race.
Yeah.
Not a sponsor.
But is there anything that you want to do with that?
If it keeps going on by,
Okay.
everyone needs their sleep.
You allow it to just keep going on by. And not even the director seems aware of this as it passes. And so you have a private experience all to yourself. You turn, you see like Shade's eyes powered down, still in sleep mode. So this is just kind of a moment that you and Squeak get.
Make a wish.
Make a wish on an armadillo ship.
That's what the saying is.
When
Yeah.
you wish on an armadillo ship.
all of you can mark off a long rest.
Fuck yeah.
And as you wake up, with a few hours left to go, you can kind of, eat breakfast, do the things that you need to do to gear up and get ready for the day. You wake up feeling a little stronger than perhaps you fell asleep.
Gibbs look in the mirror, and she's starting to get a little pouch, a little little fat, little chumpy wumpy.
Tummy wummy.
Yeah, absolutely. For Gibbs, especially as a Yosoki, having a little bit of extra weight is very, very good. That's a sign of wealth and prosperity in the Yosoki community for sure.
Gibbs grooms.
Yeah. Oof, okay. Just
Shocking.
getting grosser.
Yeah, wait, do you grow like lice in your hair?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Gibbs has a tub of grease that just sits on the bathroom counter, and it's all like
The director collects it out of the...
Whatever the food thing is, like all the like expired food that the
grease
like
trap.
the printers. Yeah. I am the toaster crumb dish, and I just
Oh, no.
Gibbs takes a bath in the grease trap.
That's why your mohawk is so stiff.
Okay.
that and
So,
Gross.
the last remaining hours kind of begin to tick down.
Nar.
Is there anything that any of you want to do before you arrive?
Echo spends the last few hours just like looking into different upgrades for the ships again.
Well, make an engineering check.
Okay. This is a lot better than last time. 31.
31. You see a number of different things that you could certainly use to upgrade the ship. There's tons of different things that are available.
The tendon slicers.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And so, it really depends on what's available at the Vivarium. But if you have some time and the willing to wait for shipping, I mean, a lot of things. And I would say for you especially, Echo, you probably have some contacts that you could use to maybe even get some things that are a little bit more military grade. You're not in the best graces with them right now, but
We have some other contacts that we
Sure.
could get that's pretty military grade.
you do. Oh, absolutely.
That we are in fine graces with.
That's true. There is only one, though, that is kind of based out of this place that you're going to. But neither here nor there. You look up all this stuff. What you do find that's very interesting is a long rail cannon-like device that has these glowing armadillo-like plates on them. And this is an Urog contraption, is the species. Urog are kind of like these huge mollusk-looking creatures that float, and they typically project their own force fields. They have a reputation as brash, but they really just are. Their species is direct, and they just want to get things done efficiently. Typically, they are very, very well known for being scavengers, really able to pick different things up and make them work in ways that are pretty unfamiliar. And you get the sense that almost certainly that you just passed a merchant ship and probably had some stuff aboard it that would have been helpful. And the Urog have all kinds of different devices available. I mean, when you start to look into their technology, it's pretty advanced.
Joe, why are you punishing me?
I mean, they have all kinds of things. You see things like light buster cannons, which are able to create these like beams of particle energy that are incredibly powerful, incredibly quickly. They actually invented the gravity generator, which is a gravity-like mine that can pull things into its wake. They even created these things called hacksaw arms, and they are like grappler arms, basically, for starships.
Cool.
But, you live and you learn.
You
Sailed.
decide to let people sleep because you
That
don't
ship
know what the
sailed.
Nautilus ship is.
No,
You're
I
like,
think-
it's going.
Yeah.
But you see, like on the Facebook Marketplace, it's like
For future reference, you can always wake shade up.
The hours count
within
down,
10 miles of you, starship weapons.
and you exit the drift. The navigating computer flicks to life, and Shade and Echo and anybody else in the cockpit, this is a computer that is never turned on. And as it flicks on, you can see an ID tag hails from something called the USR Explorers. This is something known as the Void Chill Shoal. It's called the Mosaic Vivarium, but you can see all these like old designators that are still attached to it. Yes.
The void what?
Void Chill Shoal.
Sure.
The
like that
structure
word.
itself is 5 large cylinders that each spin independently within these magnetized rings that themselves are all situated within a single disc of metal that are attached by spans to a central disc. So if you think about it like a cardboard paper tube, It has a bunch of toothpicks sticking out of it, and then each of those toothpicks connects to a single cylinder that runs about half the length of that middle one.
Dope.
You can see in big, big letters, Mosaic Vivarium in blue printed on it very freshly. You would see, probably using a drone similar to the one that was very expensive at the Eclipse Mall.
Yeah, okay.
But very fresh. There's Mosaic lettering that has been put up on all these modules, Module 1, Module 2, Module 3. You do note that there is a brief moment where all of your lights go red as you briefly get locked on by defensive systems of this. And there are certainly defenses here. You don't see them.
What are the defenses?
You don't see them.
You asking that out loud?
Yeah, the lights flicked red. I see that, right?
The Mosaic Vivarium is equipped with Mosaic limited rail launchers designed to provide protection against capital ships.
Okay.
But you can approach, and as you do, there's a little light that indicates that you are to land on the top. And it looks almost impossible until you see this little arm begin to telescope out and is meant to connect with your docking port, not the ramp proper.
Ooh.
As it connects, you can hear the and there is a brief as it vents atmosphere into your ship. There's a little bit of fresh air that comes out, and it smells wonderful. There's like not for you, Bubbles, but for everybody else, there is the hint of aloe. There is just the slightest bit of eucalyptus that is kind of mixed into this. It is absolutely like a it's not even clear that it's artificial.
Does it smell like a shower steamer?
Kind of. Not dissimilar. It's much more humid within this ship. And as this kind of comes across, I mean, any of you who are, the two of you who are androids, the lens on your eyes does fog up for just a second. It's noticeably different. But it opens up and there is a ladder that you can walk down. There is also a crane that you imagine could be used to bring cargo up this span. But you can walk down the ladder to enter into the kind of arrival area.
Are the tenon slicers also on the somehow in the Vivarium now, or
No, at the moment they're kind of just behind the Directive 0, so they're like just slaved in place.
I would go about the procedures to safely dock all of them. If there, because there is, we know there's a ship hangar, right?
Yeah.
Echo would take the shuttle to the hangar as well.
Gibbs helps.
They all need repairs.
I forgot. I made my own document for the Vivarium.
Also, that's just a fun word to say.
I know, that's why I chose it. So, this craft, where you are landing, you are docking with something called Central Arrival. And as you connect to it, there's nothing initially that allows for a starship. However, I would say make an engineering check, Shade.
Nice.
30.
A 30. You notice that
31.
currently Arrival is just using a single of 4 bays that are available within the structure, and so there are 4 expansion bays that are available where you could create areas to park craft. They have not been completed yet, but it looks like there is some construction going on. I would say with that check, you also note that there seems to be the markings on the exterior of some kind of maintenance equipment on the inside. You see all the markings on the outside of the station that tell you that there is an engineering station and perhaps even a garage for terrestrial vehicles within the main kind of pillar itself as well. And that's kind of what you see in terms of like ship storage capability. Not a lot right now, but in the process.
So nowhere else that we can get the tendon slicers to an area that I can repair them.
There's that.
Somebody else do
Sorry.
it.
There is these empty bays. You could probably take 1 or 2 of them in
And
there.
just
It's not
park
really
'em.
set up for like a. So you're still in space, but you can work on them there.
I can, yeah.
Yeah.
I can. I've got my arms.
Yeah.
And, okay,
Absolutely.
Cool. Yeah.
I've got my arms.
I got my arms. I can work.
These arms right here.
Please
I got,
work
like,
in the
I
gravity.
can like clinging hands.
So
I don't
imagine
float
those little
away.
ones that you flick out that you get. I did too. Those things were
Yeah, I always
fantastic.
ruin mine though.
Yeah,
Always
never
good-
read.
Always
They
good with
get
hair.
gross.
I would just straight into the sand. Every time.
So
But,
much lint.
there is this kind of ladder that you can walk down. There is a crane that you would imagine can bring cargo up and down the space. But if you want to go down, you will climb.
No, I'm not. I'm gonna hold on the sides and then just like
Make an
down.
acrobatics check.
Yeah, okay.
Sure.
With my new strength mod.
I love how Gibbs, every time
That's
she leaves the ship,
actually.
she always has to do like, oh, I'm going to rocket skate down onto
Yeah,
Rudder.
there you go.
Slide across the hood.
Well, I like how you always say you could walk, and it's like, no, 16.
16. With a 16, you lose grip, and so you dun, 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 and it's only like a 12-foot drop, so it doesn't, you don't get hurt, but your pride does, and you kind of land, and like you have to kind of roll over the bottle onto your chest.
Gibbs, are you okay?
Yeah, never better. That looked cool, right?
Echo very pointedly looks up yes. To be like, I saw no prideful things happen. No pratfalls.
You hear from just beyond within this space, that was actually a really impressive landing.
Thanks.
And beyond that, you can see that there is, give me 1 second here.
Who's you?
Tifi?
Evie.
Behind you, as you like what you are looking at now, kind of upside down, there is a huge sweeping viewport that spans pretty much the entire chamber around, and so it's like a massive window. You can see like the bottom of the tendon slicers. On the left and right, there are 8-foot tall stone fountains that have water running down them, kind of along. You know those like vertical fountain things?
Yeah.
And then those flank in the center a huge glass counter with dark gray granite counters, a dark gray granite counter with steel sides. Inside is mostly empty. You see a bag of Grips chips that are currently kind of balled up within there, but this is clearly meant to be like a bakery display. And on the other side of it, currently at a desk behind it, which does have like a tremendous number of like cooking devices that are not currently unpacked. There's other computers and other devices that have been set up. There's binders that are open. A lot of logistics are being done, and Evie is sitting within this space.
Hey! What's bacon?
She kind of squints and then just goes, I don't really know what that means. Do you need help?
No, what's baking?
Are the rest of you going?
Instead of
Yeah,
what's
I'll-
cooking,
I'll,
hun.
Yeah.
walk down the steps.
Spice makes her way down. And she kind of says, yes, no, I kind of understood that.
Hi, it's nice to see you.
You also, although I'm not really sure why I'm here.
Oh, hi, Evie.
What do you mean you're not really sure why
How
you're
was
here?
the invitation? Did they kidnap you?
They paid me a lot of money, and I can
nice.
still bake sometimes.
I heard you're good at chemistry now.
That isn't really a now thing.
You were always good at chemistry?
That's what
Baking is
baking
mostly
is.
Yeah, that's like, yeah. Come on, Gibbs, you would know this.
All I know is that it tastes the same if I eat the ingredients raw versus if I eat them baked.
That's not true.
Yeah. I don't know about
It's
that.
all good.
That's not safe to do.
You sent me baking chocolate. It was bitter,
Did
and I
you eat that?
ate it.
That's not.
It was very wasteful.
What? It was a gift.
You can see they just kind of shake their head and under their breath, chocolate is so expensive.
Do you want it back?
How you doing here, hun?
It just almost went extinct at one point, you know?
Really?
As I said, very wasteful.
Are you all here with ships? Peep said you were arriving sometime soon. We
Spice waves her hands up in a giant arcing motion and shows her the destroyed, or almost
She's gonna
destroyed
go start
tendon
putting them in
slicers.
the hangar.
Hey, those are GPF ships.
Yeah, these motherfuckers, we stole them.
We
And ours.
saved
From
them.
a military?
They were found, abandoned.
We're gonna change how they look.
Well,
That-
that's a good idea. And that does make sense.
And we're gonna rename them.
Good.
Wait, what is our fucking team name?
Mosaic Team 5.
No, isn't it like the ghosts, whatever? Aren't we competing as under a different name?
Oh, yeah.
We haven't picked a team name.
No,
On the
we
far
are fighting for
behind this
somebody
counter,
else.
you can see what looks like elevator doors, and there is a little ding, and as it opens, you can see Peep.
Peep!
And
Spice will run up and crush him.
Oh
in
my
her
god, he's got
arms.
brittle
I
bones!
know, she
so
forgets
you rush
immediately.
over. He makes a strength saving throw, or fortitude saving throw. You rush up and you squeeze Peep, and he goes, "Oh, hey, can you please let me go?"
Oh, sorry, I forgot.
Oh, my bones.
Oh no! Do you need help?
I'm fine.
Are you bleeding?
Not on the outside.
Alright.
Oh,
The outside.
by the universe. You guys are back.
Yeah!
Yeah.
Hi, Peep.
Hi. You guys, God, you guys did really good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Is he really hurt?
He's like not feeling great.
Okay. Can I help him?
Yeah, sure. How are you helping him?
I take out my advanced med kit
Okay.
and we'll just sort of
From a hug.
medicinely. You know what? Actually, fuck this. I'm gonna redo my lifelink
Okay.
and I'll drop spice from it and I'll add Peep to it. So I get like the status effect for Peep,
Sure.
and then I use that to inform like basically an impromptu like soft chiropractic physical therapy
No problem.
in this hallway
So,
as he's talking.
Using just lifelink and no real resources, you use that to inform the Isoki kind of physical therapy that you provide him. And being a Isoki himself, I mean, it's pretty compatible with what he doesn't seem to like you touching him.
Yeah, but
there's
more
a lot
like,
of him
"Do
just going,
this."
really, Gibbs, it's really okay. Please don't touch me. But you do. And eventually he goes, that's actually not terrible. Ugh. Oh, my shoulder moves again.
I feel like Gibbs
Spice,
also
please
like
be careful
has some
next time.
stressed like lower back and up like hunched shoulder thing going
Oh,
on.
yeah,
with
for
Pete.
sure. But he kind of shakes his head and he says, so you guys got ships?
Yeah, Pete.
Okay, we can probably change the outside. We have a couple of chassis modifications, but you'll have to kind of pick. We only have a few.
How do you
and then-
change the inside?
What's the option?
No, hold on.
Well, I don't know how much
Let
you
me
could change
finish,
the
guys.
inside. But we might have a couple different options available to us. First of all, sorry, that really hurt. There's, have you guys seen everything yet? Did Aoife show you?
No, give us a tour.
Okay, come
Show
on.
us around.
And he kind of turns around and begins to walk with a little bit of a limp, but like kind of like straightens out and makes his way over to this elevator. And then all of you are following?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was putting the ships in the.
Motherfucker, Shade,
so
get
you
out of the
climb back
motherfucking
up
ship
and
and
you
let's
head
go for a
Wait,
tour.
we have to fix the ships because they got fucked
That's
up.
what we're here for.
Yeah, who's gonna do it?
The drone.
The minions,
So
the
you
drones,
head up
literally anybody.
Shade, and as you make your way up towards the sunward part of the station, or what would be the sunward part, I guess, back when it was constructed, there is you notice a number of like berths up in the one part of the bay that is actually being constructed. Make an engineering check.
Some birds?
Berths.
Berths for
BERTH.
like ships to dock to.
Oh,
There's
okay.
a lot
but
of legs
very
that
small.
Are like
Too
this.
small for your ship. Too small for the 10 incisors.
What are those leg thing called when you're giving birth?
Stirrups.
Stirrups. There's a lot
Not,
of stirrups.
not dissimilar, I guess.
35.
35. With a 35, these are very, very small berths for some kind of a repair tug or drone. And though there are none present, you would imagine, as this is still being built, there is the capacity for this to be done within the ship, within the station's capacity itself. You don't necessarily need to move them all in yourself, but you absolutely can.
Oh, if we have the capabilities, I thought we didn't have it. 'Cause-
The station does, but it's kind of unclear as to what they are doing right now. You also see that there is this cargo crane that is in fact situated to pull things up from the bottom, and that's kind of all that's there. You can see elements that have been like beginning to build more of a hangar out into the front, but it's still a little ways off.
So, is the repair tug operating actively right now?
You would imagine because you don't see it.
Oh, okay. I was confused by that. I thought
Yeah.
I did see it.
No. So you see like the places that
area where
you
it
see
would
their
be
Roomba
docked.
chargers,
Yeah.
but you don't see the Roombas
Okay.
themselves.
All right, then I would do it manually.
Okay, no
'cause,
problem.
Yeah.
One by one, you begin to move those in and kind of parking them alongside. You can get them all, as long as you don't bring the
Well, I
shuttle
would,
in.
I'm doing the amount that I can, and then I'll swap them out.
Okay,
once the
two at
are
a time is
repaired,
easy to do.
Yeah.
So no problem. Pete brings the rest of you to the elevator and brings you down to the first floor, or down to, I guess, what was technically the third floor. And this is the kind of central hub in which there are hallways that go out to these other kind of connected areas. And he points to the first one. And the first one reads Armory. And he says, so we have a whole place in here. Actually, I'll just show you guys. And he puts his little hand on there. There's a beep. The door slides open. And you can see within the armory proper, on either side of this very long hallway, there are steel mesh cages that each lock away walls and walls and walls of what you would imagine could be weapons. There are weapons stored in here. It's not full by any means. I would say you all recognize a couple of uppercut SMGs, although these
Hell
seem a
yeah.
little bit higher tech than some of the ones you may have had. These look like
Do
to
they
be
look like the
level
ones
8.
that we? Oh.
There are 5 of those. There are 3 guns that you're not familiar with. There are 5 semi-auto pistols, although these seem to be level 7. Gibbs, you see something that is very interesting to you. It is a dark, sleek, medical-looking pistol, and it seems to be some kind of an injection device.
Hey.
There is, opposite that, on the other wall, a number of different long arms. You see 11 rifles of 3 different makes.
11 rifles, 3 makes.
Bubs, up a little bit further, your eyes are drawn to some of these melee weapons. You see what look like a couple of knives tucked into a switchblade, like very like compact Mosaic limited blue steel. These are company switchblades. There is a few tactical knives as well for people who want something a little bit more.
That have dual? Because for one of my gear boosts, I get a bonus if I have 2 of one.
There are 3 switchblades. There's 5 tactical knives. There is one thing that you don't recognize that looks like it must be mounted into armor or integrated in some way, but it has almost like a scorpion stinger, but metallic, and looks like it has its own drilling mechanism at the end of it. And then there's something that you don't recognize, but there's 2 of them, and they look just like very, very flimsy saran wrap, almost like lengths that have been bundled up, and there's a very slim, almost like microprocessor on one end of them. And looking at it, you imagine each one is designed to go into the palm. Unclear as to what these are. Not something that you're experienced with, but they're definitely advanced melee weapons of some kind.
Okay.
And then there is, across from those, one very, very high-tech looking bow and arrow system that it's called a battle bow. This is level 8. It is capable of firing a number of different projectiles, and an assassin's rifle. And this, in its display, is broken up into several different components. It can be tucked into a very plain-looking briefcase that you imagine can be disguised to look like many different things. But this is a sniper rifle that can be broken down and snuck into places.
Similar to the one that Shade made for me, perhaps?
Very similar, yes.
Bubs will grab the Saran Wrap weapon. And
Shades is actually better in 2 different ways. It has different material that has been used in it, and it's technically considered 2 levels higher in terms of some of its capabilities.
Homemade weapons do better.
2 levels higher than my level. So it's
I have it written down as level 9.
Double check, but for its hardness, I think it's counted as a level 11 weapon,
Yeah, that's correct.
I'm gonna grab the Saran Wrap weapon, and I'll grab a couple of the knives.
Okay. You can add hard light hand wraps, level 9, to your inventory, and however many of the 3 switchblades and 5 tactical knives you would like to take. The switchblades are level 8. The tactical knives are level 7.
Okay.
Wow.
And Bubs has his Inatio gauntlets on. He always has them on, so we're just gonna grab him with those.
Sure.
Peep, are these for us?
Well, yeah, this is company equipment. So this is the armory. And then if there's stuff that you guys don't need, you could turn it in here and maybe we can upgrade it while you're gone.
Oh my god.
But yeah, if there's stuff that you want, we can try to order it in and get it here as well. But you guys have kind of been using the same stuff. I mean, a few of you have some new ideas,
Yeah, Spice pulls out her hammer that's level 4. And then she pulls the knife off her back that's also level 4. And she's like, yeah, I could use some different things. And she throws
Yeah, my
it
cousin
into the
uses
pile.
those for gardening. I think, this will be much better.
Click.
But in addition to this, and he kind of walks down to the end of the hall and he puts his little palm on and another door opens up.
If I put my little palm on, do the doors open?
Dun, dun, and Peep turns around and goes, we haven't just coded you in yet, but we'll do it. We'll do it. Are you going to keep doing that? Do we have to go all the way to security right now?
Oh, wait.
Thank you. He turns around, pushes this, and the door opens, and he brings you into a room. Hold on a second.
Damn, that was a nice loot.
Does the armory also have armor in it, or no?
No, and you are led into a room that is like a long hallway, and you can see it kind of goes off to the left and the right. There's a 4-way intersection in the middle of this room, and it splits up into 4 different spaces. And there are 2 doors on either wall for each of these little 4 corner rooms kind of things. And so right now, most of these doors are open and you can see into this huge open floor plan like space. One of these 4 rooms is called explosive manufacturing. And within this, you can see what looks like an entire production line. It is not finished yet, but Peep says, oh, this is so exciting. So when this is done, we basically have a grenade manufacturing line and we can swap out parts to make different things. So between missions, we'll be able to actually equip each of you with grenades. It's not quite done yet. We can probably make 3 before you're able to get out of here. So think about what you want.
Does that mean we
awesome.
all get proficiency in grenades?
Oh, I can't make you good at something.
Damn.
Trust me, if I could, I would. But
I have
this is the
proficiency in
engineering
grenades.
station.
I'm worried about
and
all of
he
you.
runs across the floor, and on the other corner there
I'm
is
not
the
worried about it.
engineering station.
Slow blink.
The doors are open. There's plastic sheeting covering freshly created equipment. This is state of the art. You can see articulated robotic arms that line up the walls and can serve as different kinds of helpers, stabilize projects, provide light. Some of them even have integrated tools. There is a universal grinder mounted into the wall itself, and then a number of different bins for different specialized material, although none of those have anything in them right now. But you do see ghost iron. You see these starlight metals kind of like labeled. And then he kind of gestures at this and he says, I think Shade's really going to like this, but I mean, it's a full engineering bay. It's pretty state of the art, and we can keep upgrading it if there's other things that you need.
We recently ran into one of these grinders right before we came here.
Oh, yeah, they're great.
So, fun fact, don't put the ghost metal in it.
Yeah,
jams
why would
it.
you can't put, so just in case none of you have used one of these before, please don't put star metals in it. It's kind of the one thing this can't
Don't
grind.
you have the star metal on you?
Also magical items. Magical items will break it
I
too.
have the ghost lamp, but I was thinking we could, put it in our room. It's kind of nice.
Well, show it to Peep. Look at this cool thing that we got
Yeah.
on the Deer Spice.
You pull this like lamp out and he goes, oh, it's a really nice lamp. What's a deer spice?
Oh, that's, let me tell you, on our last adventure, my mama made a
Oh,
ship.
hang on. This is going to be a long story. Let me finish the tour first.
I think Spice keeps talking even as Peep.
So he starts trying to be
Gibbs
like,
really quickly scribbles a bin and it says magical items
Yeah.
as if that's the place to put them. Like
Okay.
real like she's like, oh, you can't put it in the grinder? Here's the bin for the magical items, and we'll like check the recycling bin like in Animal Crossing every day.
okay, sure, no problem.
Just like, in case someone happens.
Yeah, someone's like, oh, I've got an extra magical item. Let me throw it
People's
in
like, so there's space for 4 and then Spice just starts talking over him. But he's pointing to a garage that has his little motorcycle in it. There's 3 other docks for vehicles to work on.
garage.
At the moment, the entire shell has been removed from his small motorcycle. And the wheels have been taken off as well. He seems to be doing some work on this.
You upgrading it?
I'm just kind of putting it back together. I had to take it apart to get it up here. And then, let's just keep on moving. And he kind of guides you back down towards the elevator. Spice, you talk this whole time.
Oh,
And
yeah.
How much
but
of the
she's
story?
doing that thing where, like, nobody's listening,
Bubs
but
is
she, like,
listening.
looks at everybody to, like, see if they're listening, but she keeps going.
Bubs is like nodding around. Going, yeah.
Peep is not. He
Yeah.
completely shuts it down and begins to just go on his tour again.
Bubs is there.
He rolls a
He's still
natural
acting
one for
like
concentration.
like it's a brand new thing he's learning.
You go down to the main kind of corridor again, and he points across the hall, and you can see it reads Arid Vivarium. And he says, okay, so I think at one point this was probably like a warehouse or something because it has some of the big tall ceilings, but I'll just show you because you're not going to believe me. And he goes over and he puts his little hand and it opens up and sand pours out into the floor.
Sand?
Within the space, you can see there are little zones, and almost imperceptibly you can see as the sand kind of shifts and moves, there are places where it piles up a little bit, so there's invisible separation or really maybe incredibly clean glass that separates this into different exhibits almost. Have you ever played Animal Crossing?
Yes.
You know those? You know, like the museum, how it's like separated and you can have all the bugs in different
Yes.
little sections? This seems very much like that. And in fact, you can see off and to the left, there is a little artificial tree that has been put up in this desert proper with no leaves attached to it. And there's a couple of little stick insects that are attached to that. There's a label to that. Licklicky leaf bugs. There is an anteater that is in a different one that is kind of curled up around some rocks. And you can see an entire fire ant colony that has been placed into another one.
Whoa.
And the ants themselves are crawling in the air. And that tells you that there is some kind of a separation here, either glass or a hard light kind of field.
Detect magic.
No magic. This is tech.
It's sand.
It's sand.
That's so cool because like I always like wanted to have like an ant farm, but like it's kind of cool because like it's like we're in the ant farm.
Yeah, okay, but word of warning. So if you can reach right through the barrier. For us, it'll be fine. When you reach through, the barrier goes down, though, briefly, to allow you to pass. And so we used to have scorpions, and I'm not really sure where they are anymore.
Oh no!
Oh, fine.
There's 3 of them, and I guess they're not good to get stung by, so just be careful. Anyways,
takes out a bug and
starts
puts it in
walking.
the sand. Takes out another bug and puts it in the sand. Take it out another bug.
Gibbs, I don't think you're supposed to do that. There's
I'm
like a
adding to the
Whole,
Vivarium.
there's like a whole like ecosystem that like that I'm sure they probably like.
Let him fight!
Into the sand. They just burrow and disappear. We'll see what happens with that.
Oh my god.
But he turns and leads you
species.
across, and he shows you a couple other things. There's a jungle vivarium, and when he opens that, you get the warm, humid air, and you smell those smells, and you recognize this is where that humidity comes from. There are all kinds of different it's almost like a greenhouse that has been set up here, and these are real plants.
Aw,
The smells that you can smell are real smells, except for you, Bubbles. There's no real animals in there. And then he shows you a salt aquarium. And this is a huge tank. And when you go in, it's almost like the top level of the Boston Aquarium, where you
Nice.
just are looking down into a huge, huge tank.
It's got that smell.
There is gathered around that a number of different pieces of like little equipment and observation tables. There is a floating steel platform in the middle that you could just sit on and like look down. And then there is dive equipment for up to 10 people, so people could actually go into the tank proper. There is fish swimming around. You see a school of supernova anchovies, which as they move, flash brilliantly purple. And there is 3 large purple pufferfish that seem to be kind of moving around and just swimming around through the stonework there.
Were the animals here when you got here?
Yeah.
Weird, right?
I mean, I didn't really think about it, but
Are they more like decor? Like, are you
feels kinda
taking
like a
care of
laboratory.
it?
I'm not doing anything.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'm working on my bike and I'm doing all the stuff I have to do for
Right,
you
paperwork.
guys.
Yeah.
But no, they're just kind of here.
Were there, like, have you guys like ever been to like a vivarium like this? I've never even heard of that word before.
I mean, this isn't even listed in Mosaic's corporate files. This is pretty cool.
Bubs is gonna do a quick infosphere search of existing vivariums.
Sure. Make a cultures check.
This was previously owned by the
19.
USR too.
You saw USR explorers come up within the designation of the craft when you approached it.
You said culture. 19 plus 9 is 28.
Vivariums, 28, you get millions of results. There are quite a few of these, and there are different uses for them. There's nothing that comes up about a Mosaic vivarium.
Okay. Is there any that are in specifically space that may or may not, or just any of them in space?
Yeah,
Okay.
there are vivariums in space. It's a pretty widely practiced phenomenon. There's some animals, actually, very interestingly, rats fucking love space, and they do very well in zero gravity. There are some animals cats do not like, and they really don't appreciate being in zero gravity. And so the vivariums have been established for scientific purposes. There are some crops that grow differently in space, especially when exposed to more radiation. And so, I mean, all different kinds of vivariums exist for different reasons.
Bubs is going to look up from his comm and say, yeah, actually, Gibbs, these vivariums are actually like kind of common. Like, I guess they have them like all over the galaxy, and some places even have like space ones.
Vivarium is just a fancy word for a zoo. And so if they just want to justify charging $20 a ticket, they call it a vivarium instead of a zoo.
Aren't zoos more expensive?
Yeah,
Zoos are like 50 credits. Vivariums, this tour was fucking free.
Well, I don't think this is a place for like visitors, but like I don't really see any scientists either doing any study. Maybe I don't
That's
know.
what the director's doing right now.
Are they just holding on to them for some reason? I don't understand.
They could be
Pete
leftovers.
turns around and he says, yeah, I was kind of wondering that too, but then it occurred to me, that's a salt aquarium, and there's no fresh aquarium, and there's a lot of habitats that are missing, so maybe there's another one somewhere. Maybe there's other things that
Like a
Mosaic has that are
sister.
not listed. Yeah, maybe.
Do you think any of the other Mosaic teams know about a vivarium for them?
I don't think so. Look, I got this directly from pretty much right up at the top. Give me 1 second here while I pull up my org chart.
Even
Wait, so
past
this is
Will.i.am.
Mosaic Teams 5's private vivarium?
I think it's just for us.
Mosaic
Because
LLC.
we were asked to use it. Give me 1 second here.
Yeah, I want to know who you got it from the top because that's very important.
Yeah.
Which top?
Yeah, which top?
Orion. Nasma.
Nazma's like a branch.
Yeah.
This came from Assistant Tashisha Moonwatch,
Okay, yeah.
who is basically in charge of the entire company. And
Basic.
if it comes from her, I mean, that means Director of Operations Robert doesn't know, Mission Control, Chief of Mission Control Orion doesn't know. I don't even think that Maxwell got to hear about this. I don't even think Mosaic Team 1 knows that this exists.
Are you telling, like, when you talk to the other mission coordinators in, like, your conference calls, like, have you, like, slid in there that you got this cool new office or anything, or?
No.
Why not?
Were you asked to keep it quiet?
Yeah, we're not supposed to really talk about
By
this.
who?
By Assistant
Tashisha?
Moonwatch. Yeah.
They asked you to keep it quiet?
Well, yeah. I mean, I assumed it was because this is a tremendous amount of resources. I mean, this must be billions of credits.
Yeah, it's all new and state of the art.
Yeah. And so, I mean, I just kind of assumed it's because you guys were finally successful. And because Team 1 has been inactive now for like 3 weeks, I feel like until Team 2 gets its legs grown back, you guys are kind of it. I don't think I want them to feel bad, and so maybe that's why.
Oh, well, that's good that we have working legs then.
Yeah, no, it's really good. It's better than Team... Oh, you should see Team 2. But for that reason, I would also say, probably keep this place quiet, and I wouldn't go about inviting a ton of people.
I invited everybody.
We deleted that list, though.
We'll be quiet about it.
Why?
Okay, well, one thing to think about is we do have the capability of taking a few more people on, but just be very careful about who you invite.
Well, maybe we should think about who's got skill sets not covered. Like, you're
That's literally
paperwork
everybody.
man, right? You're really good at, like, bureaucracy
I'm being
in the best way
good
possible.
at a lot of things.
Yeah. And then Efi's got baking and chemistry. So, like, maybe we invite, like, a Rose Lashwind to, like, be, like...
And Bess.
And Besson.
I
Dr.
tried to get
Maldras.
Bess in here, and
Yeah, his
Besson's
dad said no. Oh, okay.
Of course he did.
But, like, someone in more of the medical sphere as a backup might be nice, even if they're not.
Do you have anybody in mind?
Rose Lashwind?
I could reach out
I've
to
got a
them.
bunch of siblings. I think they're alive.
More of you?
Do they have
I
skill
have a
sets?
lot. I haven't talked to them in a long time, but yeah, they used to.
Well, we haven't talked to Bubs' siblings in a long time, and we're probably not going to invite them, so...
Why not? I would. Emma seems like she'd do great in here. She could have her whole Arctic Circle up here.
Guys, let's just continue the tour.
Spice, for free, make an intelligence check.
Bubs is like kind of embarrassed.
Nice!
A natural 20. Bam! Clunk.
You say a whole Arctic Circle, and that's silly because there's no Arctic environment. But wait. A long time ago, you had found in the drift an abandoned Pepco station, and in the very back of it, marked Mosaic, M.O.S.I.A.C. There was some kind of a laboratory, and if memory serves, in addition to a gigantic frozen yeti, there were some other Arctic animals in there as well.
Reindeer. The one that we crushed, and the foxes.
And you recognize that maybe not a sister station, but certainly there are satellite facilities to this place.
Oh my god.
Lenovo Vantage, not a sponsor.
Oh my god. And the Directive Zero, obviously knows about our adventures
Correct.
there. So I'm confused why there's not an
You remember
Arctic Circle.
asking about it previously, and at the time, the response had been, "You are not cleared to know the information."
So I really think Emma should come here.
Well, we can put a pin in that.
Yeah, let's work out those problems off station before we invite them in station.
Maybe we can do it.
But a magic-y kind of person might be good.
Okay. Well, if you think of a magic-y person,
Rose Lashwind.
okay.
Thank
I
you.
already said I'll reach out to them.
No, I know. I kept feeling throughout the conversation that name kept not being there. So
Rose Lashwind.
okay, cool. Yeah, isn't she cool?
Yeah, she was on TJ's bounty board last night.
Yeah, so were we.
Anybody with
I
the
know.
last name Emido or whatever Meek's last name is, or whatever. There's a lot of Lashuntas I know.
Great.
Kabarat, the entire city of Kabarat.
I think that's probably 5 million people.
Yeah?
So okay.
You don't quite.
I have a big
that
family
capacity.
too, and I love my family, right?
Oh, you should write down all the Skabrats. I'm
So
pretty sure
just
there's
so you
200.
remember, this is where you work. This
Yeah.
is not a social gathering. So if we're inviting people, it's because they have skills that are useful to Mosaic LLC.
Everybody has something to offer.
Well, I don't disagree. Not everybody has something to offer Mosaic LLC.
What about M.O.A.I.C?
As this
Yeah, I don't really know about that. That's pretty weird. But
It was
maybe
rebranding, I'm sure.
Yeah, it could be.
as this conversation is happening, Bub's just gonna shadow up the shade. And oh, you're not there?
Not there.
Up and
He's-
doing.
Okay, I thought he
Shuttling
came back
ships.
after. Okay.
No, I guess not.
Bubs will just go.
Do you want to?
I mean, I don't know. Can I actually repair them there?
It'll take. I mean, that's. It depends. So repair them. Yes, that will take hours. To do the modifications that you guys want to make to them, which still haven't been determined, that's probably a longer process. That's going to be like a week-long montage, you know, like start playing the 80s music and you guys start working on stuff. Once you determine what you're going for, that's going to be what we'll do, and we'll do some skill checks. But until we decide what that is, you can make basic repairs in a couple hours.
Yeah, because I just want to repair the shields that got
Okay.
busted.
Yeah, no worries.
Echo's been sending like video clips of like the tour so that Shay's got a basic like
It's the
functioning.
Snapchat stories version of like flashes to Gibbs, flashes to Pete being frustrated.
So you're just hearing engineering bay,
And then
greenhouse,
visuals
salt
of like
aquarium.
Echo's very practical about
Yeah,
it,
no,
so
absolutely.
it's not definitely not like flashes of people. It's definitely like
Mood
here are
board
the
senses
shells.
the place.
Bubs will saddle up to Echo instead. While that conversation is happening.
Okay.
Hey Echo. Don't you think it's kind of weird why a Vivarium would need like a railgun in space? Isn't this like just a research station?
Are you doing this near Peep?
No, I imagine they're having their conversation. And we're,
Why wouldn't you involve Pete? Never mind.
'cause you guys are having their yeah.
I do not find it strange. After all, there are many research stations studying various dangerous and potentially desirable substances.
Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know. There's just something weird about this place. I can't put my finger on it, but I don't know. Maybe I just don't like new places.
Bubbles, you asked if I found the railguns strange. You did not ask if I found this vivarium strange.
Oh, sorry. Do you find the Vivarium strange?
The vivarium is very interesting and, indeed, strange.
Yeah. Well, hopefully at least we get used to it or something. I mean, I found the ship, kind of strange when I first got on it, and now I feel like it's our home.
The Directive Zero is indeed strange.
But it's our strange home.
Suddenly,
Strange best friend.
within this
that we
hallway,
tried.
the light shifts blue, and you hear the director's voice within the vivarium proper that says, "I am no stranger than you, Bubbles."
No.
You extend to here too?
Yeah, what's up, bitch? How
do.
you doing?
I do agree. You are also strange, Bubbles.
Bubba's face is gonna turn like really red. Oh well, I mean, they say you're only as strange as the company you keep.
Then you're definitely strange.
You look around at Gibbs, who just snorts a bug back up into their nose. You can see Spice, who's saying, "And my brother, and my sister," and just going off on this whole list of people. Shade isn't even here, and you're just like, well, yeah, that's
Evie's far away from us.
yeah, Evie did not come on this tour.
It's just
Okay.
like, oh my god, they're here. Fuck.
So after the saltwater aquarium, is there anything else we're missing here?
I think I've showed you pretty much everything. Saltwater aquarium. Oh, the laboratory.
Ooh.
And walks across over here. And in this space, there is lab equipment. There is a science station. There is a medical station
Nice.
as well. There is an empty, there's 3 empty office spaces, and then there is Peep's office, where he has kind of set up his space. There are all these empty plastic pods that have been strewn across the room that you recognize are from his sandwiches.
Do they ship your sandwiches here?
No, I brought a lot.
How are you gonna restock?
Well, actually, Evie can make these like pretty close to how the machine does. So, what I've been doing is
because they can make these.
what I've been doing is every now and then I'll eat one of Evie's and I kind of get through it, and then I'll have some of the good ones,
Right.
and then slowly I'm kind of making
You're
that
gonna,
change.
yeah,
It's tough, but for the team,
right.
something that I can do.
We have a printer on our ship. Would that help, or is that not?
It's different.
Oh, okay.
It's a different kind of printer.
Yeah.
They have a proprietary ink, I think, that just makes the sandwiches really smooth.
Right.
Like there's almost no texture.
Right.
But
Spice.
you've never received a tour of the Vivarium. He
I feel like Echo's okay with a textureless
he
sandwich as long
finishes
as it's
this
cube.
by saying, I mean, it's very similar to nutrient cubes in a
As
way.
long as it's in cube form.
So we can currently print 3 grenades that are level 6 or below if we want those for the next assignment. We're also able to fabricate up to 3 level 6 weapons or 1 level 8 weapon if we wanted to do that instead right now. We could also fabricate theoretically 2 sets of light armor, although we haven't tried that yet.
Ooh.
Oh, and there's a garment printer if you need any clothes,
Can you-
which maybe you might want for this mission.
Can you print any heavy armor?
Yeah, we can print out heavy armor.
Up to what standards?
Up to level 6, or so we could print out 3 level 6 sets of armor or 1 set of level 8 armor, same as the
Okay.
other thing.
Um,
The plan though is to make this a little bit. We're still not finished building it, so this will get higher.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Spice looks down at her armor, and she clearly has the best armor.
The temple weave.
yeah, I have the Lashunta Template that's already
It's
level
not the
8.
best now.
Ooh, can I?
Well, who has the better armor? What do you have?
Oh, the golden one.
No, I gave it
No.
away to you.
I didn't put it in my character sheet.
Fold away. You have this really, really nice armored
What's it
suit.
called?
It's the
it's a
Avatar.
fighter.
It's
Okay.
in the
I found it.
I
Discord.
believe it's an Abdar Gold.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I gotta get some new armor.
What? You already... Never mind.
Oh, can we go back to the armory real quick? And I want to talk about this gun that was on the wall that looks like a needle.
Yeah, sure. Goes back to the armory.
Great, thanks.
And if you take that out of the armory,
Yes.
that is a Night Arc Needler, level 8.
And you said the uppercuts were also level 8?
Uppercut SMGs, level 8. There are 5 of those.
I take one of
With
those.
a little bit more investigation, there's 3 Scorch guns that are level 8.
Is that long arm or...
Short arm, small arm, sorry. So the small arms cabinets has a uppercut SMG, a Scorch gun. It has semi-auto pistols. It has the Night Arc Needler, which Gibbs took. There is a long arm cabinet, which you would find has 3 Blaze rifles, level 7, a Zero rifle, and an Infinity rifle. Bubs went over the melee weapons. The one that Bubs didn't really understand, it is called a retractable stinger. It is level 9, but it's something that has to be incorporated into like an augment slot or an armor upgrade slot.
Yeah. I'll take it
Augment slot,
to.
you say?
I'll take it to like offer it to Shade if he wants it later.
Okay. And then there's a battle bow level 8 and an assassin's rifle level 9 within this cabinet as well.
I'm gonna take whatever the coolest long arm is. Or all 3 if they're up for grabs.
I mean, yeah, so you are able to take as many as you want, but what people probably say at that point is just remember there's only so many UPBs to go around, and if you guys don't bring more stuff, we're not going to be able to keep upgrading the equipment. So just take what you need and maybe leave stuff that you don't.
Alright, Spice is going to drop her other rifles that she doesn't use anymore and pick up the better ones.
Oh, okay, I guess I'll pick these up. And so Peep starts like putting them into
I
the
help.
armory.
I put them in
Gibbs
the
helps with that a little
cube.
bit.
Nice.
No problem.
Spice just like is shopping along the walls and she's like picks the things up, but as she like clicks in the things that she wants, she just drops the things that she doesn't want behind her.
So Shade, as you finish up on these repairs, all of you have finished this tour, and there is a point where you can kind of regather within this reception place with Peep, who is there to kind of say, so let's talk about this next mission. You have a couple of ships now, and we can maybe put some new exteriors on them and maybe upgrade them a little bit. Did you happen to get some weapons as well?
No, we didn't.
Okay. Well, we should have something arriving tomorrow. It's not very powerful, but it's better than what you have. Well, I guess, what kind of weapons do you have right now?
For the ships?
Yeah.
We have pulse black and a
Weapons aft, weapons port, nothing.
we have nothing on these.
We have chain cannons on the 2 forward sides.
Okay, chain
Where do you
cannons.
even see that?
Weapons forward.
I think if you have chain cannons, those are pretty short range. You probably don't want something short range. Well, I guess it's really up to you. we have some flak throwers coming in.
What's a flak?
Two of them. A flak thrower. It fires out a bunch of little flechette rounds into the general space, and they're pretty good. And then we were also able to get only one light torpedo launcher, but on rapid order, that's pretty much all we could do. I was kind of hoping you guys might bring some more stuff, but maybe you can get stuff at wherever you're going.
Yeah.
We might also want to consider having multiple ships with multiple functions.
Yeah, I like that idea.
If we all have the same weaponry, we will be less useful together as a team.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, then I'm comfortable with a short range thing.
We should have one ship that is capable of long-range weapons, another that is capable of disabling enemy combatants.
Oh, we have something for this. Ify, can you get the table? And you can see Ify just goes... and like goes back around the counter and wheels out what looks just like a solid piece of quartz, and taking it out on these little wheels, pushes it up between you, and Peep, like very excitedly, runs his little hands across it, and suddenly you see starships just appear, and like the weapons that he listed, and a couple different color options, and
Oh shit! Do we have a visual for this little piece of quartz?
Do we need to move stuff on the table, Joe?
no.
I think it's a handout.
Or yeah, yeah. A bunch of minis that are ships.
He says
Excuse me.
you can really pick
Oh, actually, yes, a bunch of minis that are ships.
what you want your ship to look like.
I'm totally
and,
painting mine.
and so you players can take these and paint them whatever you would like them to look.
God!
Because he says we have a couple of these drones that will be able to make these really look. Now, I would recommend that you guys do something that makes you look like a team, but they should be able to kind of do whatever you can do within your artistic talents. We only have these available as wraps, and then this really only changes the exterior.
Sorry, by changing the exterior, if we picked a style, does it change like the speed or functionality or like aerodynamicy? No. Okay, cool. This is just aesthetics.
Correct. That's all that we got was just some exterior wraps that could be put around the tendon slicers. They were designed specifically to fit into those slots. So these won't really go on anything else. Maybe a couple of the other more Zipsy yards ships might fit into it, but I don't know what would.
This is fucking sick, Peep. I love this.
Okay, well, again, this is for the mission, so it's really important. This is your job.
Oh yeah, mission. Of course.
But he kind of gestures, and because it is 8:30, we'll step away for a quick break, and then we will come back, and you guys can select your ships. And we'll get right back to our Starfinder game for the end of our session. So please stick with us. We'll be back in just 10 minutes. And welcome back to Mosaic Team 5, our original Starfinder campaign. We're going to jump right back into things as you all see in front of you a variety of different customization options for your ship. At your leisure, you can kind of pick which ones you want, and players can take these home and you could decorate them, or you could do a little paint party here if you guys want at some point.
Paint party!
I'm
Yeah.
trying to remember. I think
Is everyone cool if I take this one?
Yeah.
maybe Sunday if people want to come over, you're welcome to, and we could do some painting. But we'll figure that out.
It's Easter Sunday.
Oh, it's Easter Sunday.
I unfortunately have one family member I have to see.
I am a rabbit. So, this.
I am a fertility goddess.
So we're all busy on Sunday, unfortunately. So we are going to kind of skip ahead with this, and kind of we'll get back to how you configure your ships from a aesthetic standpoint later. But in terms of the actual equipment that you have available, is there any changes that you want to make? I think at this point, people would probably say, once you make the changes, as long as there's not huge amounts of damage to your ships, there's some automated tugs that are constructing parts of the facility still, and they could probably install things to the ships themselves. So you won't need to do any of the work, but you'll still need to decide what you want to go where. So, yeah.
Does this place have, in that med bay, can I swap out an augment, perhaps? Or,
I mean, if Gibbs can do it for you, yeah.
Gibbs can't. It's been decided that Gibbs
Think
can't,
Shade
so,
I mean, as long you just need somebody with the skills. We have all the tools and the
Shade could do it.
facilities.
okay. Well, I'm thinking as much as I love being able to breathe underwater, it hasn't come up yet, and we have the augment that lets you just not breathe at all. I forget what it's called, but maybe that would be more useful.
Probably.
So of the guns listed, does anyone... So I'm cool with sticking with the chain cannon so somebody else can get the cooler guns. Whose ship wants the cool guns?
Not to be too
Wait, you want the
mechanical
big one?
based.
You want the torch
Oh,
flamethrower?
I am pretty good at shooting.
I
Aren't
will
these-
say, Bubbles is frequently the gunner of our ship fights.
So why don't...
Potentially, Bubbles should have the longest range weaponry.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Fine with me.
All right, and then there was two other options, wasn't there?
There's flak flamethrowers, but there's 4 of those,
Two
right?
flak throwers,
Oh,
yeah.
there's 2. I thought there was more.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, just 2. 2 flak throwers and a single light torpedo launcher.
So you're getting light torpedo.
The flak throwers should go to those who are at the head of the pack to distract those who are also leading.
Well, I haven't been a pilot in a long time, so I don't care where I go in the line, so I don't really need a flak thrower. It would be cool,
So
because
our
I've
two
been
pilots?
a fighter before.
Potentially, I was thinking for Shade and myself, as
Sounds
we
good.
are more experienced pilots.
Right on. Sounds good to me.
And then presumably you can find more weapons and equipment once you actually get to this place.
Oh, yeah.
Indeed.
100%.
Don't worry, I'll hook you up with a lingerie cannon. They've got a garment printer here.
Fuck yeah.
And I just queue
I've
up
had
like
22
40,
times.
yeah, 44 panties and like 80 bras.
It's a junk cannon. I want to be really clear. You made it a lingerie cannon by loading lingerie into
It
it.
was dope.
But okay, so you
So I'm getting the flak.
You get, no,
No, you get the light
torpedo.
Yeah.
light torpedo launcher.
And if anyone wants to switch out, I can switch out.
No, I
No.
think that's good. I approve of this delegation of weapons if my opinion matters.
It does, because we're Mosaic Team 5.
But can you help me get I want to rename my ship.
Yeah, what do you want to name it? You can name whatever you want.
Great, cool. I'll tell you in 20 minutes.
Okay. So with the next day this equipment arrives, you're able to install it or have it installed to the ships that you want, no problem. At this point, they already look the aesthetic way that you will decide that they look between this session and next. Is there other modifications that you want to make or things that you want to do while you're at the Vivarium? Yeah.
I wanted to ask Pete, but I guess I don't have to do it at the tour, but at any point.
Yeah.
Is there like a place, like a gym or a combat area or like a danger room where there's like hologram simulations we can fight, or any like kind of like workout exercise kind of vibe place?
This is more of like a laboratory Vivarium sort
Yeah,
of
but it's
thing,
gonna
but
be a gym.
we have access to, we have space. So right now, in the entire Vivarium, it looks like we have about 7 empty bays.
Yeah.
If you want one of them to be like a training facility, we could do that.
Yeah, Bubs will. And is there oxygen there?
Well, there will be when we build it.
Okay. Bubs will put a pin in that. He'll just try to find like an empty place that he can be alone. Just so he can probably like do some training.
There are 3 empty offices in the laboratory.
and he'll do some training, and he's gonna kind of just look at the ability crystal, and he'll probably activate it.
Okay. So within this actual office proper, it is just basically 4 walls and a door,
Yeah.
and there's a big window that when you press a button, it just becomes frosted glass, and so you can have that privacy if you want.
Yeah.
You do some training. You take out this crystal that you received as a gift from Steel.
Yeah.
And in activating it and looking into it, it's a little different than how Gibbs had explained it to you.
Mm-hmm.
And for you, there are no direct words, but you see something that is at the same time familiar and unfamiliar to you. You see Earth. And through your eyes, you can see what looks like some kind of a war, a battlefield that is unlike anything that you've ever pictured. It spans from across the entire horizon, and you recognize that you are looking out from the eyes of somebody who is participating in this engagement. And I would say make a cultures check for free.
Nice. And as Bubs is doing this, he's like kind of calming down. He was just like doing some air punches and like kicks. That is nat 1, but I'm gonna use my once a day reroll.
Okay.
That is a 2.
The flags that you see,
But
and the
I add,
symbology that you see.
I add what did you say? Culture?
Yeah.
9, so 11.
11. You see some golden looking leaves that are stuck onto a flag in the distance that is blue. And then you see another set of flags that have stars on them and other symbols, but you can't quite make them out at this distance and you have no idea what they mean. But there's clearly 2 factions going to war here. And at that moment, you hear a voice that comes in through the seeping kind of corners of your consciousness. And it just says, "You ain't ready for all this yet, but I can show you a thing or two. Come here." And Bubbles, in a moment, you go through essentially a boot camp that is unlike anything that you've ever gone through. And in this minute that you touch the ability crystal, something within you fundamentally changes. And on the other side of that, you find that your abilities are a little different than you remember.
Bub is gonna reach out to the voice. Who are you?
Don't you worry your pretty little head about that. There's not a lot of space in there, and we got a lot to do. Now look, if you want to fight proper, and he just starts to go off on this lesson again, and if you try again, it's not quite insulting, but there is this kind of like, you're not ready for that yet sort of attitude. And you get the sense that this is an individual who doesn't have a ton of faith in the person that found this crystal and is going to get all the information that they can to you. And so they really direct it towards changing your abilities. But at the end of this, you can change your fighter type if you wish.
Okay. Bubs is just gonna say, I want to ask you, why are you doing this?
Why am I doing what?
Why are you helping me?
You know the thing about wars? The people that are fighting them, they change, but it doesn't stop. You're fighting a war right now, son. You might not know it, but you are. And you need to be ready.
I've always fought. I've never had a choice but to fight. Since they trained me since I was a child, all I was doing was fighting. But the problem was, I never got to choose what I was fighting for. I don't know what I'm fighting for. I don't know what I have to use these abilities for. This whole thing around me, I didn't even get a choice to decide what this does to me and why I live this way. I want to use it in a way. I want to know, how do I know what I choose is the right thing to fight for?
It sounds like you've been a soldier all your life, son. You need to start thinking like an officer now. There's choices that you can make. And if you fight for something that you don't believe in, you're not making any choices.
Bubs like looks down, and he like clenches his fist like really hard, and he can swear that out of the corner of his eye, he thinks he can see the little bit of the sheen of his bubble, but he's not really sure.
Sure.
It's that. Maybe it's that easy. Maybe I just have to just go out on a limb and just trust myself to make a choice.
That's all anybody ever can do. And if you don't do it, nobody else will. So stop feeling sorry for yourself and start doing something. And you feel your attention snapped back to this lesson.
Like Bubs, I can like feel like the sweat on him, and it feels very cold, but not as cold as it used to be. And he kind of just does like the same punch motions that he was doing before, as he was like kind of doing punches and kicks in the air. And as he does it, I want to activate the ability of what's it called? Of the Wrathful Warrior. It's called Berserk, but the way I want to flavor it is not Berserk. I would like it to maybe not the bubble gets like more physical, but like it like small specks of light, just like small sheens of it, kind of like static on a dead TV.
Okay.
Just like small little. You would have to like really pay attention to see it.
Sure. And for anybody looking, it's almost like you were in a dusty room and it's just a little harder to see through the air that has this particulate falling down through it. But anybody who is up close would see that there is this almost imperceptible shift in the reality itself that is around you. It's a little bit disconcerting at first, but you recognize too that you are able to direct this somewhat. And in some ways, it does seem to shift and move to your attention. And it might take a little while to figure out exactly what that's like, but this is definitely different. And as you try to bring back some of the powers that you've had before, they're not there. But it's not anything less, just different.
And Bubs like does like a jump, roundhouse kick in the air, lands, and then he goes like with a punch right from his middle of the core of his body. And as he does it, he punches the wall. And I imagine like he can feel the force of his bubble and like a little bit of like the air kind of tremble as he does that.
Sure. And the wall straight through to the other side, and you are looking into Peep's office.
Peep!
Peep's not there. The lights are off. They go on as the motion detector activates. You see his computer console falls onto the ground and shatters. But this punch, quite powerful.
I've cheated.
Bubs is gonna go into his office. Is there like how big is the hole?
It's like about this size. And as
Okay.
you like look at it, like a part of it crumbles away, and like your whole head would fit through there.
Bubs is gonna go around into Peep's office if it's not locked.
Yeah, it's not locked. But
Is there like a painting or something I can put up over it?
Why don't you fix it?
Peep's office is really sterile. The closest thing that you could do is take the filing cabinet, and that would cover like the bottom half of the hole.
Yeah, okay, I'll do that. And if there's any like knickknacks I can like put on top of it to hide the rest
Make
of
a
it.
sleight of hand check.
Okay, perfect.
Just one manila folder.
That's a 6, probably plus
Boo.
0.
I was gonna say the sleight of hand
0
check
cents.
is just to find actual knickknacks.
So you unplug a lamp and you put it on top of the filing cabinet and you plug it in. So there's just a light that is almost illuminating this hole. But you're kind of hoping it's one of those things where like a flashbang, it'll blind him to what's beyond.
Yes.
Yeah, you've successfully used your ability crystal and created a window for Peep.
Nice.
There's just little army guys along like, not tchotchkes.
Is anybody else doing anything before you take the next leg of your journey?
I would like to go to the jungle vivarium.
Sure.
And sorry, so are all the vivariums have this weird glass thing?
Yeah, there's different, it's like sectioned into exhibits almost. And so it's not like a zoo. These are real plants and like there's a lot of attention put to that. There's like probably that you cannot see mechanisms that are designed to add humidity and inject nutrients into the soil. It's a living ecosystem.
So in the jungle vivarium, can I find the largest quadrant?
Yeah.
And I want to like look for predators or whatever.
Okay. Make a perception check.
Cool.
The lion sleeps tonight.
30.
A 30?
Yeah.
You look and there is no predators here. You know that in the jungle vivarium, there is really just a couple of insects. There's an anteater, and that's really it.
Okay. Is the largest quadrant not have the anteater in it?
Correct, empty.
Okay. I'm gonna pull out the case with Tobin in it.
You pull out this little cage, and in it, just like up against the bars, is this rabid, haggard-looking rat. It looks bad. It has like this big bulge coming out of part of its head now. It is. You can see like the gums are pulling away from the teeth a little bit, and it kind of like spits at you. But what are you doing with it? Put it out some misery.
Thought this rat died 1,000 years ago.
That's what Bubs was like, kind of concerned about it.
I know you're not super happy with me, and I'll probably never win you over, and that's okay. But I haven't found a better place for you that I was hoping I would have, and carrying you around seems to have done more damage than I intended. And I named you after someone I care about a lot, but you know, I guess kind of looking at you makes me sad now.
Oh, God.
So,
It's like he didn't care.
Oh my God.
okay, here is an ecosystem. Rats do well in space. We all know it, so you'll be fine here. And I'm gonna release Tobin into the section of the jungle vivarium,
Okay.
but with me on the other side of the glass.
Okay.
Or whatever. Like, I don't want to get, like, shanked by this
Force
rat.
field.
You do that, and the rat lunges for you as you do. You're able to shut this in time, no problem.
Yeah.
And there is a as like Tobin thumps against whatever is the invisibility that is separating you from it. And luckily, you pull back in time. But there is like a chatter, and then it just disappears into the foliage that is around.
Whatever the exact opposite of boggling is, Tobin does it.
Yeah, Tobin, not a happy rat.
Yeah.
I'm
I'm gonna make my peace by breaking up some of the meat pucks
Okay.
and just, like, sliding them in to this little...
Make a survival check.
Great, love that.
I'm really happy this is happening.
24.
Okay. You wait for a little bit. You put some chunks of meat pucks down there. No bugs come to eat it. You remember this is it's a living environment, but there's not a lot of like life here
Yeah.
in terms of like macrofauna and flora. But as you wait, nothing really happens. The lights go out once. You have to like wave and like come back
Yeah.
on. And so you turn and you leave. And right when you're about to leave, one last look over the shoulder. And this is in you. You're almost like, if I see the wind moving, then maybe he's still alive. And you turn. And you see this little rat pull one of the meat pucks out.
Ooh.
And maybe this rat will attribute that to you.
Nice.
Maybe.
50-50.
I don't think I particularly care if it does or not.
Yeah, no problem.
But I want... Can I catalog Tobin in the vivarium so it's like...
Yeah, there's a display that you can add them to.
Great. So I'm going to say like Tobin, domestic rat, courtesy a la Gibbs, please don't eat or touch, or like is feral, caution beware, like maybe rabbit. You know, it gets really
Domestic
long.
rat.
At one point, it goes from on the display, the
Domestic
display goes
rat.
blank, and then onto the ground. It now
Rabbit.
projects the letters because it's so
Domestica.
much text that is
Nice.
now in front of the actual display itself.
Cool.
But no problem, yeah. a
And
lot of
then
text.
that way, like, I assume by cataloging it, the like science that's happening will help
What is that?
Tobin thrive. Do I have any like basis in
The
reality
only
for that?
thing that you can really interact with
Right.
aside from that is a red button that you could press.
Red's usually a good color.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Hey,
At the red
director.
Yes, Gibbs. The blue light turns on in the jungle vivarium.
Just so you're aware of a new creature in the vivarium, besides the bugs I put in the dirt. But anyways, Tobin now lives here.
Is there anything else, Gibbs?
If Tobin starves, Tobin shouldn't starve to death.
I agree, Gibbs.
Will you help make sure that that doesn't happen?
Yes, Gibbs.
Okay, cool. That's okay. Goodbye,
Okay.
Tobin.
You leave Tobin in the vivarium.
Cool.
+1 Tobin.
+1 Tobin. +1 somebody who's very mad at Gibbs.
Okay. Anybody else anything?
Director.
Yes, Spice.
Sorry, she looks over at Echo.
Echo's not there.
All right, so Spice just like watches that whole interaction, and she's like, "Director, do you remember that asteroid around Christmas time that had those foxes that we killed viciously, and we brought them, and we tried to save them and
I
melt
do
them on the
remember
trip.
you putting
And then we
a
ate them.
frozen fox into a spacesuit in the airlock
Yes.
in an attempt to defrost it.
About that, do you remember the climate of that?
Yes.
Can you recreate that in one of the 7 open bays that you have? That climate? I want to see the
the
snow.
climate that you are referring to is Mosaic Satellite Laboratory number 17.
So you already have it in progress.
No. There are several satellite laboratories that can be added to the station.
Oh.
That is one of them. However, you have already melted down many of the species within.
Yes, but I do. If anybody else remembers, because I have glass vials that I probably should have given to Gibbs a long time ago, and one of them has the juice from the fox.
It does.
Like
literally, you cut a hole in
my
I
suit.
suit and then
that.
just juiced it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was gross.
And I am going to be like, so if one of these bays in this menagerie vivarium becomes Arctic, and she's gonna draw the vial and give it to the director's arm or wherever she is into the wall or whatever. She's like, I want to see this puppy in that landscape.
That's how that works.
She's gonna give it. I'm like, there's DNA in here, I think.
It disappears into the wall.
Do I see the director nod?
No, because it's a ship in the hull.
Okay,
of
so
this
there's
creature.
just silence.
Yeah.
And then Spice she nods to herself, crosses her arms, she's like, I did good today, and then walks away. That's it.
Echo would have gone to what is becoming the repair bay.
Sure.
And help Shane repair some of the ships to make it go faster.
No problem. Yeah.
Mending hands and all that android shit.
Sure. Yeah. So many android hands makes light work, and you repair the ships pretty quick. Is there other stuff that you want to do before you begin to think about your next route? Here?
Princess thrown in the ice castle. Director. Okay.
I do not know what to do with that statement.
I don't know.
Let it go. Let it go.
Let it
Anyways.
Oh.
Disney's
Okay,
lawyers.
really quickly. Can I send a snail mail?
Yeah.
Do you have a post office here, please?
Peep goes, no, we don't have a post office here. We have the infosphere.
Okay, Ariana's not understanding. But anyways, I want to send a package to Vesson. Okay, so in addition to the swarm sample that I already gave to the director, I also got a sample of this really cool mold. But like, it's like super fragile, like super fucked up, and like I probably don't have it in the right container. I am using like a mold jar.
Maybe don't do that.
Yeah, okay. But like, oh, can Efi do anything with this? Is she... Okay, from what I know about Efi, is she like good enough at science that she could do this? Or is this like giving like someone an easy bake oven and being like, go make me a like wedding cake?
I mean, what are you trying to have her do with that?
I'll go talk to her.
Sure.
Hey, Efi.
Yeah.
I have a sample from a swarm that's like a mold, but I kind of would like to know more about it. And sometimes when I sent stuff to Vesson, he could like distill the properties and like would send me a nice email about what it was. Could you do that? Like,
Do you specifically want an email, or could I just tell you?
no, like it's fine, like whatever.
Yeah.
You could do that?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, it's a little dangerous, so you should wear a hazmat suit.
I don't really want to do this, so
Oh.
I'm not going to.
Oh, okay. You don't have to. It's all right.
A hazmat suit seems a little extreme, and that's not in my job description.
Can I ask though, what is in your job description? Just so I don't ask you things like this again. You know.
This is an administrative position. I'm
Okay.
supposed to be handling logistics of this entire station, and eventually providing food for people when this grows. I'm a little bit unclear about what that means. Do you know?
Who
Who else is coming?
Okay.
It's very lonely here.
Okay. So we're just gonna collect people with different talents, I guess, in our human zoo, and then
This is not a human zoo. That's kind of offensive, Gibbs. Humans don't like to be called zoo animals.
okay.
Would you like me to call you a little pet rat?
I think it wouldn't bother me that much, but that's okay. I hear that it bothers
Would
you.
you like some pellets, Gibbs?
Pellets? Probably. You know,
Would you like a nap, Gibbs? Should I get some shavings, Gibbs? Some cedar shavings, Gibbs.
cedar's kind of itchy. Okay. Point taken. Totally understand. Cool. Glad you like it here. So we just keep like inviting people, I guess, until at some point we hit max capacity, or I don't know. Maybe the director's got some grand plan about it.
Okay.
I'm sorry you're working with us. I'm glad they're paying you well.
There are worse people I could be working with.
That's true. Cool. All right. Well, then I will mail this to somebody who might actually want to do this project. I hope your paperwork is a good time. Sorry I ate your chocolate.
It's just really expensive.
I don't know what the goal was. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Here, why don't I give you a gift?
That's okay.
No. Please.
I really don't want a gift. You're very dirty, Gibbs.
Hold on. 1 second. And I pull out the gravy boat from Nadia's restaurant. And it's pretty pristine.
Where did you get that?
I got it from Nadia's restaurant, and it's the only thing that's ever made me smell like magic.
What do you want me to do with that?
It's
Do you want me to take it apart and tell you what's in it?
No, I think that it's like a cooking utensil, and if you should choose to use it, I hope that it helps improve your baking, and if you don't want it,
Is this a gift, Gibbs?
it is a gift.
Oh.
So it's up to you, it's something that means a lot to me, and I would like to give it to you and repair whatever bridge I've broken.
It was just a waste of chocolate, but I appreciate this.
That wasn't my intention. It was very tasty.
I also really don't care that much.
That's okay. Here
But
you
I
go.
do. This is nice.
Okay.
Because he just kind of goes back behind the counter.
So hard to
This is the
read.
thing.
And I walk the fuck away, and I go back to Peep, and I go, never mind, I gotta mail this off to Vesson.
Right before you leave, you just hear, "Hey, Gibbs. Thank you."
And before I put my foot in my mouth again, I walk
I'm
the fuck
getting
away.
like big goth girl vibes
Yeah,
from
very much.
Efi
Yeah.
now.
So, no
Sassy
problem.
goth
What
girl.
is
You do that.
Echo and Shade up to?
Echo and Shade are repairing the ships.
Okay.
I wanna mail this to Vesson.
No problem. You mail it off to Vesson, putting it into a cargo delivery drone that is run by Mosaic Limited, and off and into the drift.
Cool.
So, are you all heading to Sensation?
Yes.
Is that where we're going?
Yeah.
I thought-
What we have the fucking ships for?
What?
Let's send in.
Do we need to check in with the identity protection people from the USR about anything before we go? Is everyone cool with their identity and their like shit?
Yeah, I'm fucking Donna Light.
Okay.
Pretty sure you told them that you were Miss Valentine.
Yeah,
Yeah, aka Donna Light,
Donna Light, as in instead of Donna Valentine,
Yeah.
Donna Light.
Right.
the married version. Wait, unmarried version? But I don't know.
Mrs.
On your fake identity card that you got, it literally says first name Mrs., last name
Yes,
Valentine.
and then you are
MISSUS.
Yes.
Yep.
So unmarried version.
Yep. I mean, who knows? Anyways,
So confusing.
you have your identities that have been established. There are some fake profiles that have been established with some pretty generic and pretty boring like feeds that have been built for you. You have the login information so that you can post if you wish on your feed.
There is actually one thing I would like to make. Can I make a change on mine?
Yeah.
I believe Matt jumped in and gave an age for my character. And it makes me like kind of a lot older than everyone else.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I can check the date.
I think it was 26. This is what I have in my mind as your age.
I have it right here. 1 second.
Gibbs is 15 because like you said.
12, 13, 2020.
12. Wait.
Wait, yeah, 12.
It's 22,
20,
50.
22, 20, I'm sorry.
22 would make you 30. That would be that. Yeah, that's older than I thought.
Yeah, no, I wrote this means you're 30. Could I change that to, because Bubs doesn't look 30.
Yeah,
Can I
yeah.
change that to reflect more of his age?
Yeah.
Just 21.
Yeah,
Or
that's
20.
that's
Is
like
exactly.
5 years younger than I had you in my brain. So yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Just in case people ask questions.
No problem. So for those of you wondering, Bubs, 21 years old.
Nice.
He had his first drink on session 1. Or he tried to. So anything else anybody wants to change?
update my Instagram feed for Trinket with a Y
No problem.
with all of the like pictures Gibbs has taken of like her various knickknacks.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah,
and you try to
Spice
make
is
them
going
look
to,
like
add a
mysterious.
bunch of celebs. She's gonna add Celia Sweet, and she's gonna add Chad, whatever's.
Make a
Chad
persuasion
Baker.
check.
Okay. She's too high status for this fake account.
I don't want you to ruin this.
Great. Alright, good thing my persuasion is really fucking high. Alright. Wait, persuasion? You.
Sorry,
There's a-
diplomacy.
Oh. That's right. Diplomacy. Alright, 16, 22, 26.
26. Okay. Eventually, so you do that like day one. You check back every day. Nobody friends you back. Nobody friends you back. Nobody friends you back. And on the last day, as people
So
are
it's like all
packing-
bots?
No, it's that nobody accepts your request.
No, I'm saying like all of the fake followers that I was set up with on my account. Like, isn't it already preloaded?
Yeah,
It's like all
and
bots and
those
shit.
you would imagine are all fake.
So when
yeah.
I try to load it with real people, this is the fight.
When you try to add people as like friends, if you're adding celebrities, they just don't accept. With one exception. On the very last day, as people begin to load things up,
Chad.
there is a message from Chet.
Fuck yeah.
And all that it says is, do you have coordinates?
To where, hun?
Is all the response that you get typed out. And then like an hour later, like you guys.
Yeah, and I guess she'll send the coordinates to the Zin.
To Zen?
To Mosaic. Why? What I said?
Because you're
to
gonna
where
invite
you
Dr.
are?
Maldross, but you're not gonna invite fucking Chet to the Vivarium.
Too far.
All right, she'll
sense.
send both Zin and Mosaic. No context.
Okay.
Just a flip of a coin. Either goes
Matt,
to the gangway.
roll a D10 or a D4 for me, sorry.
Damn it.
You either killed Chet or made him.
Why?
I know
No.
what it is.
No, I know what it is too.
I don't know what it is, and I
Well, you
don't
should,
know
because it
is.
happened. 3.
What do you mean
Three?
it
Okay.
happened?
You get a response that just said,
Oh no!
cool. I sent a package for you guys to Zen.
No!
And you'd imagine there is probably on Zen,
But that
waiting
had-
for Bubbles, a squeaky
No.
clean.
Why do you always ruin
Package.
everything that I love?
I
And we'll see
did
if you
not
ever get that.
understand what was happening.
New quest obtained. Find squeaky clean box.
Sorry.
All of Bub's quests are fetch quests.
Yeah.
Can I just highlight though that this armor upgrade changed my
He
EAC
did?
from 12
He
to
was gonna
20
send it to
and my
my God.
KEC
Correct.
From-
Negan Mars have a forwarding address because they left before I
13
could
to
get there, so-
21.
You're very
Literally,
welcome.
we're the same now. I literally am 20 and 21.
Oh my god, I'm so excited!
Fantastic. So, are you all heading to your ship? Are you guys heading towards
So
Zen?
the lockout ships, are they like visually modified now?
At the end of this, they are, and so we'll say this is like a 2-day process. You've repaired them, you have changed the exterior of them, and you have mounted the weapons that you want to mount to them
Okay.
from the existing pool that you have when they arrive the next day.
Can I
And
say
so-
long rest? Another long rest? Because I'm not all the way here.
Yeah, but you all would take one long rest between
Contact
that.
Sinclair to get better guns.
We only
You
get.
can.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, you
'Cause
can
I wanted
absolutely.
to do that since now that
Let's
we
do
have.
that.
Yeah,
He had said to like reach out. And
you absolutely
So
can.
long resting in Starfinder is you get twice your HP.
Oh, you need HP?
Yeah, I
Womp.
need. Okay,
Done.
There you go.
Let's call Sinclair.
Okay, no problem. So, what are you requesting from Sinclair? Because he just said that all you need to do is send him like what you need, and he can figure out how to get it to you. Yes.
Echo's thought hard and was probably like coordinate with Shade on this. And if Shade has ideas, I was just raising my hand as in like I also have ideas. And Shade first.
I didn't look up weapons specifically
Okay.
for the ships, but weapons.
But it sounds
Well, he
like
said
Echo did.
you need to send me what you need.
Yeah.
So,
I just didn't.
So
No
just
worries.
over Discord.
Yeah, Echo has picked out a couple of like melee range things for like, as you know, it's It's Derby.
No, absolutely.
There's like some blades that you can attach to the side of ships. There's also force field generators, as well as some upgraded thrusters. Basically things that could be potentially easily added on to the ships, rather than like reinforced bulkheads and whatnot.
So you're looking for EC modules, and you're looking for thrusters, essentially things that. Okay, so not weapons systems. You're really looking. Okay, for that, that's all stuff that Sinclair can get for you. And he would say he could probably do it in about 4 days. One of those days passes while you're at the Vivarium, but you'll need to figure out if you want to wait another 3 days and get them here, or have them sent ahead and pick them up.
I do have a contact on the Sin Crawler who would potentially be able to help us with modifications.
Yeah?
Did I not mention that I used to live at a space where I could
No,
repair
you
my
did,
own?
but who is it?
I've asked.
I don't remember.
I feel like you mentioned it, but like, is that a safe contact, or are you worried if
We're
we go
going
there?
to Zin. Isn't it all unsafe?
I did call this place my home.
Okay. I mean, we trusted your spirit guide from your hometown. The guy with the face mask and the...
Kenkashi.
No.
No?
What's his name?
Seljun de May.
Seljun.
Spiritual guide is Seljun de May. I love that.
Yes. He was not from my backstory, but
No,
yes,
all
he
I'm
was
saying
great.
is, like, we showed up there and we're like, here's
Yes.
an ally we're gonna trust. So, like,
Yes.
I think it's Echo should get the same courtesy.
Yes. I agree.
So if you want to ship them there, we could leave today or tomorrow, whatever.
And Echo would probably reach out and be like,
We Gucci?
Well, who is it? Did you drop their name yet?
it's the mechanic.
So you reach out
That's
to the
it?
mechanic?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They're just called the mechanic?
For the first time in a long time, you reach out. And there is just a message that has been left. Move to the drift.
Oh, shit.
You know where to find me. See you soon, Echo. Echo, he never called you Echo. He called you by your last 3 numbers, for what that's worth.
Is it William the Pleaser? Or is that wrong?
That doesn't sound anything like William the Pleaser.
Okay.
Was it a voice message or text?
It's just text. But, I mean, it's all written in a way that would correspond with the person that you're looking for.
Moved to the drift. Does Echo have any, like, context for that?
You would imagine that he probably left behind some way of finding him there. It would be something that you would be able to find and not immediately obvious, so other people couldn't just track him wherever he went. You would imagine he left there for a reason. But yeah, hard to say. This is out of character. This is somebody who has really established routines and who doesn't say a whole lot and kind of does their thing.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they're gone. And they left a message for Echo
Yeah.
that they know where to find him. So that's all very strange to you.
Could be a different Echo.
Could be.
That is unexpected.
What?
They are no longer there.
Oh, so you moved out?
Apparently. I had been looking forward to seeing them again.
What was their relation to you? What?
Echo just
Is
like,
that a weird question? Spice like immediately turns red. Is like, fuck. What?
The eyes kind of flicker a little bit. Yeah.
I do not know. Agreeable landlord.
Okay.
Distant uncle.
Okay.
That's not bad. That's a decent relation.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Do you want to see if we can find them in the drift? Or you think that thread's better left unfollowed?
Is there a secret message beacon?
Does this make you uneasy?
It does make me uneasy. Mostly because it is very general and not specific.
Were they kidnapped? Were they forced to write the message?
Why would they leave a message for anyone to reach out to them specifically for you?
It is not just for me.
For other echoes?
My batch would frequently meet at this location.
Your batch is missing.
So maybe there's, I don't know, something that they don't want your batch to be there for some reason. Something that happened or changed the situation.
Echo doesn't know any coordinates off the top of their head, right?
For where?
For where this could possibly be.
You know the coordinates of where their kind of like exterior station was previously, so you could get back there, no problem. This doesn't come with any coordinates, and there's nothing that there's no like, oh yeah, he's at a summer house that like this comes out to you. This is very strange.
Perhaps we should have the weaponry sent here.
Are you okay with waiting another 4 days? I mean, it's gonna take me at least 2 to paint my ship. I'm kind of small.
Paint party.
We have drones for this.
Oh, nice. Gibbs starts putting the hot pink paint in the drones.
Okay, no problem.
Hot pink.
So
Not gonna let that
Hell
happen.
yes, Spice.
It's my
like
ship.
synthesize more buckets of hot pink, director.
doing so now.
Nice! Yes! Yeah! Team colors are pink!
They are quite enthusiastic. And
Spice
as I
and Gibbs
have
are
no
like,
attachment to any color in particular, aside from a couple, perhaps hot pink should be one of our team colors.
yeah, fuck yeah, I gotta go.
What is your favorite color, Echo?
Yellow, duh. We all know that.
That's
Spice is correct.
I knew because I have one Echo yellow eye and one. I mean, wait, that's not
Looks at
right.
Spice's blue eye.
Yeah, wait, Echo blue eye and listen to yellow. Fuck, I fucked it up.
So,
go ahead.
you absolutely no problem for free can load this for pink paint and begin painting your ship. Are you waiting these 4 days?
Captain, it is your decision.
We're not under any time restraint, are we?
I mean, but life is short, and you know, Yosoki's age fast.
Yeah.
So kind of.
4 days is a long time.
4 days is kind of a long time.
So let's
I feel like we should just go.
answer.
There's opportunities in Zin we might be able to wheel and deal.
You're the deciding factor, Captain.
We should make our way to Zen, but we still need to stay cautious, lay low until we do get the pods.
You say that literally every other sentence is stay cautious.
And yet you still do not listen.
Nope. Does in.
Have we chosen a team moniker?
No, I don't think we did.
But I know what I'm
Wasn't
gonna
it
name my ship.
assigned to us? Wasn't like our.
So that was
Are we being sponsored by somebody
No,
else?
that guy, like, we cut ties. Like, we're redoing. We're not rebooting what we did on Oars Bay. We are like having to start from scratch.
Gibbs, that's really great.
Wasn't it Sinclair though? Sorry.
Gibbs, it's really great that you named your ship, but maybe let's focus on what Echo said. Maybe we can come up with a team name. Does anyone have any ideas?
Pink ghosts.
It's a little on the nose. What about?
Mosaic Team 5. Wait a second.
Well, what do we want to accomplish, right? We
This
want to be
pink is-
stealthy and fast.
This pink is quite intense. One would almost say neon. Perhaps we are the neon wraiths.
Oh, I like it.
It has a little
Fierce.
bit more of an aggressive tone than pink ghosts.
Wraiths.
Yeah, I like it.
And
Neon wraiths.
Echo responds to Sinclair and tells him to send the weaponry to the mechanics shop,
Okay,
where there will be tools with which to augment the ships.
absolutely.
And to have it sent under their MRS unit name
Okay.
for the neon wraiths.
Okay, no problem. You do all that. It's approved. If you send the cost over to Peep, who's like in the building, he might ask a couple of questions, but as soon as you tell him what it's for, approved immediately. And so let me know on Discord what you want. I'll give you a price tag for what you're able to spend per Peep. But as you get these, you know that you will have these upgrades available for you at Zin. What would you do? You have anything further that you want to do, or would you like to make your way there?
roll out.
Yeah.
What's the genre of music that ends in wave? Retro wave. I need some retro wave music. If we're gonna be the neon wraiths, I want our lockout
Vaporwave?
battle. Vaporwave, yeah, but it's yeah.
Yeah,
I
I think we're ready to roll out.
vaporwave music.
We have to decide our theme song though.
I want Arcane
Every second's
Anthems
like,
to
let's
do
decide this
a
thing. What about this small
vaporwave
other thing that we can decide that's inconsequential?
lockout
Let's do
battle
that.
soundtrack.
Okay, so I'll look for something like that. But as you all have your craft and you have them in roughly a lockout configuration, you are able to slave these things back to the Directive Zero, and you can head out and into the drift if you wish.
Nice.
We don't have a bounty we're looking for anymore, right?
Yes.
Oh, it's
Henry.
Hardcore Henry. Sorry. Yes.
Before we go, are we able to disguise the Directive Zero at all?
Yeah, that's part of the process. You can
Okay,
definitely do
to
that.
make it like
In fact, at one point,
the
people would say,
trailer or something.
"Hey guys, something happened to your ship, so I'm gonna reset it to what it's supposed to look like."
No.
No,
You-
neon wraiths.
It's disguise.
Oh, I
Who's
guess
gonna expect us to have a panther?
that's a pan. Oh, okay, yeah. I guess.
I mean,
that-
you can
that
do
makes
it
sense.
better, but do it the same.
Okay,
Guys.
yeah, that's a better idea.
Okay.
I think it's up to the captain to decide what the ship looks like.
It's up to all of us to
I worked
decide what it
3
looks
days
like.
to
Yeah,
paint
Gibbs did
this.
She worked hard on that, even though you can't really tell what
Guys,
it is.
I still think it's the captain's choice. Shade, what do you
Captain,
think?
don't you think it should look like either a panther or a neon wraith?
it
right?
should match the aesthetic of the ships.
What ships?
Can we do
The
the
ships
panther
that
and
we
neon
just
then?
decorated.
So a neon panther, like a pink panther?
Panthers are not wraiths.
Pink dead panther?
It's just a dead corpse with a little
Mosaic Team 5.
Skull.
Would you like a dead pink panther painted
Yes.
on
Yes.
our ship?
Neon, though. Have it match our ship.
What do you think, Captain?
I do not care.
That was a yes.
Echo.
Director.
Very well.
Echo sends via text file some subtle design changes.
So it's
Spice uses her fucking telepathic spy to fucking intercept that stupid shit.
It's electronic. So for what it's worth, you can see the what the director has interpreted this as is along. It's gonna be like black ship, so very sleek. Or if you're doing it pink, actually, black ship, heavy pink accents, so that's really most of the color. And the way that you're actually seeing the panther is like a skeletal black like creature that goes along the side of the ship, and kind of you could say matches like a wraith-like pattern. But if you want to change that, you definitely can.
Echo changes the hot pink, so it's like the outline of the panther, and so it has like glowing pink eyes, and like the claws are like scraping across the front.
Very
Okay.
cool.
Okay.
Gibbs is like, yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. So basically, the artistic interpretation.
I'm imagining like the director has like a holographic like image of itself spinning in the center, and we're all making design changes.
Yeah, sure. if
Except
that's
for
the-
Echo's doing it secretly, and we're all like, yeah, that looks great.
Yeah, more of that.
You touch it and you're like, oh, I was trying to make an outline, but the eyes are
That
glowing
looks
pink.
so
That looks
much
great.
better.
Yeah, you're doing a great job, Spice. So, is there any other changes that you want to make before you drop into the drift?
Nah.
Alrighty. Shade, roll your drift die.
Here we go.
The
Big money,
drift
big money.
die.
6.
Oh God, we're back in it.
Don't we have
As
a
a
permanent negative or
reminder,
something?
you do have a drift override that you could use should you want to.
What's it do?
You can re-roll that d6
I mean, yeah.
How
I
many
guess.
times can we use it?
once, and you just don't want to roll another 6.
Oh, guess
Oh.
what I just rolled?
Wow! All right,
it,
it
I'm
was
for it.
fated.
What was
The
that? Another
Starfinder
6.
gods.
Love
I'm
that.
for it. I like long drifts.
I mean, the best RP happens in the drifts, huh?
So, you drop into the drift. And as you do, all around you, the stars fade away. Any last transmissions or connections that you had to the Vivarium proper fades away. And all that you can see are the kind of interstitial space lining clouds that make this up. And on the clock, you just see question marks. The director comes online. Regrettably, it appears we have become lost in the drift.
What? What do you mean lost?
We have entered a point and the exit has sealed.
To Zin?
we must manually navigate to an exit point. And it may take us anywhere.
That doesn't sound good.
It is not ideal.
Anywhere, you say?
Well, we'll figure it out.
Adventures.
We probably should all take watches if this isn't a stable part of the drift.
Captain, what do you think?
Good thing there are more bounties. He wasn't paying attention.
We're gonna do the thing.
I don't know.
We're gonna go wherever the drift takes us, I suppose.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Shade
Director.
says,
I think
yes.
we have to. I think we have to fly manually.
So
All
Shade,
right, pilots.
you take up the kind of wheel here, and there is no autopilot anymore. And so you recognize this means somebody always needs to be steering. And this is certainly going to become an endurance test for the ship. But because it is 9:30, and because we are very rapidly shifting our arc from the Zin crawler
Yeah,
to
what
something
the
different.
fuck? We had it all
This is
fucking
where we're
planned
going to
out.
end for this evening. I know. I had the whole Pilgrim Staircase.
You're
book,
like
but
literally just like, don't roll two
Double
sixes.
double
I
sixes.
know. I love it. It's fantastic.
Oh
down for it.
my
Let's do
god.
it.
Good
So-
thing we're not
So
on a
next time on Mosaic Team.
We'll be
Oh
back
my God.
next week at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for a little Lost in Space action. But until then, if you can't wait, at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we'll be back tomorrow night for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition as the group begins to head further north and towards the Beetle Train. But please stay safe. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.
See you in a long time, space boyfriend.